play styles coming through here, and I think it's going to spice up the scene and also make everybody better along the way.
We'll take a look at the bracket here in just a moment to see how these teams got here. But again, I think this is actually a really good talking point that we will work through throughout the series.
Yes.
The pace at which both of these teams like to play. We just saw TENZ doing some pretty filthy stuff. There's another play for him. We're going to see Pure and talk through his aggressive play style and how he works off of utility. There's just so much to talk through. But once again, let's take a look at the bracket and see how things pan out. On the upper side, you've got XSET with an incredible run, a 2-1 win over Rise, a 2-1 win over Sentinels, and a 2-1 win over 100 Thieves to get to this point. It's hard to look at that and go, well, XSET, maybe they don't belong, or maybe they're not as good as, you know, whatever. No, dude, they're the real deal.
Honestly, and thinking about it a while back, you would have thought, okay, Sentinels are going to be able to come back now and take this. But what XSET has been showing, the way they have been defeating these teams or coming back, stringing rounds together, makes them seem almost unstoppable as soon as they get that flow. And we've seen them do it from a pistol, and we've seen them do it from a comeback. So having that there for XSET is going to be huge against Sentinels, who can always, with Shazam's big brain, find a way back in. And to the point of Rise and KCP there, that's the excitement I get out of seeing VCT all the time, is those teams getting a chance, coming in, knock down a lot of these Titans, but also just let you know that the scene is growing that much more. There's that much that's changing, and you have to stay on your toes.
Got to stay on your toes, and that's really what XSET challenged all of the teams that they took down along the way with. You've got to stay on your toes, and now they're going to get a chance to do it again.
Let's go.
Or potentially do it again up against Sentinels. Let's take a look at the rosters. Up first, we've got to look at XSET, and I think one of the key, there are two big things to talk about here. The first one, Riv, I'd love your thoughts on it, is the addition of Def. He's now calling for XSET, and he has been instrumental to their success.
I think what I noticed the most out of rewatching XSET's games is their preciseness on their mid-round decision-making now. How fast they are to act on information that Def is giving around. I mean, maybe the stand-in last year for Sentinels, just Def downloaded everything, right? Maybe this is theirs. But no, all kidding aside, he has really been able to orchestrate the power that XSET now has on their squad into places where it's going to give them an advantage. I think we'll see very fast takes as soon as you see Def getting a little bit more information. They act very well mid-round, and they have their setups when they were reading 100 Thieves and figuring things out were to usually break what site they were going to, and they did it pretty well.
They did indeed, and then also it's kind of hard not to talk about BCJ, right? The young king that is BCJ when we talk about XSET. And the thing is, it's not always going to be flashy, right? It's not always going to be fragging out. It's not going to be on a jet doing all sorts of crazy nonsense on your screen, but he is so consistent. He's usually good for 2, maybe 3, and it's always in clutch moments. BCJ has been so good for XSET.
When I saw XSET scores throughout these, you would have your pure BCJ, and it's great to see the rest of the team fragging too, because when you do rely on one person too much, it just becomes a hassle to have that person carry all the time. That's a big burden. So having somebody like BCJ right there alongside Pure, alongside the rest of the team, and Zekin has been crushing it as well.
Yeah, he's been nuts.
Really, really great stuff coming out of that team. And it's the full package now. It's what a lot of the fans have been looking for. XSET has always been a name that's been creeping around towards that playoff area, and now we're going to grand finals out of it.
Talking about a full package roster, let's take a look at Sentinels. They're the best team internationally right now. 9-0 sweep at Masters 2 in Reykjavik, and now working to get their way towards Berlin. You see the rosters across the board, and Riv, this actually dovetails very nicely. You mentioned how XSET are a full package. For Sentinels, we've talked about this a couple of times. If it's not TENZ, it's Sick. If it's not Sick, it's Shazam. Like, there's always somebody who just pops off.
With recent challengers, you have to throw Zoms into that mix. What the heck? This guy, usually you're like, Zom's good, back of sight, cleans up 1 or 2, 3s, 4s. You have another one coming out as a heavy hitter here for Sentinels. And the rest of the squad, too, just to go over kind of our focals here as we were talking about Pure, we'll talk about TENZ on the other side. Controls a game. I think there's a mode he just switches into where he can absolutely take control, and you can feel it as a viewer, you can feel it as a caster, and it's impactful when it starts to happen. We saw it a little bit recently with Sentinels against XSET, where they were able to come back a bit on that icebox, but it is scary when it starts to happen. Shutting down TENZ is a difficult thing to do.
The person who's going to be tasked with the primary job of shutting down TENZ is going to be the Jet on the other side, and that is Pure. You take a look at stats across the board, and they're really competitive, right? Like, and here's the thing. I know you Reddit pundits out there talking about Pure being not a good tier 1 duelist or whatever. Look at the numbers, my man. Look at the performance that Pure has put up. You've got to put some respect on my man's name. Pure is the real deal for XSET.
I absolutely believe it. I felt like Pure's calculated play. I feel like with watching XSET, he gets agency out of a little bit of utility. Fearless to walk in with a drone, a trailblazer, more than happy to walk in behind a set of seekers. You see that play style from him opening up sites so often, as to where TENZ has a little bit flashy of a play style, and that's not to say Pure isn't flashy. It's just that slight difference in calculated attack. TENZ, you're just like, how, you know, almost every time.
We'll continue to talk about this matchup. We do have maps, and folks, remember, this is a best of 5. We have 6 maps in the pool. That means 1 is coming off the board, and the rest of the series will be played out on what remains. As you can see, Find is missing, so as Riv, you said, we're going to be starting off on Haven, Breeze, then Icebox, then Ascent and Split if needed. Now tell me, you got pretty excited there when we saw Haven up first. Tell me why.
Oh, because of their most recent matchup on Haven. It was so great, so close. I think we really got to see how both teams were pushing their current strategies onto each other, realizing we're going round for round. Push the same strategy, but alter it slightly different. Sentinels going for B, XSET recognizing that, and then switching up the quick TENZ in and out for getting a plant down, which we always saw them using as kind of a bread and butter play to get a few rounds, get back into econ. The little things they were able to kind of flex on each other, and I love XSET's movement around the map as they played 2 Sentinels. But the Sentinels, they are the grand champions, right? In Reykjavik, they have that game day face, they have that game day pressure, and you can never count them out.
You can't. Indeed, it is going to be a good one, folks. We're going to cut to a break. When we return, map 1 of the grand finals. You're not going to want to miss it. Stay tuned. Welcome back, dear friends. Just a few moments away from kicking off this bad boy. Again, XSET and Sentinels going toe-to-toe in a best-of-5 grand finals on Championship Sunday. I'm Doug. With me is Riv. The first map is going to be Haven. Riv, we talked a little bit about it before the break, but let's continue this conversation. Let's talk about Haven. Yesterday, for whatever reason, it seemed very defensive-sided in certain matchups. On this matchup in particular, XSET did a great job on the attacking half. Well, what are we looking for here? What are you expecting?
I am looking for Sentinels once again to continuously push somebody, not continuously, but push somebody down mid. They did it quite a few times to route around XSET on attack and make sure they could get somebody near window, somebody tucked into a position where you get a lot of audio cues and a lot of an idea of what XSET could be doing just based off those few footsteps that you gain. Whoa. Let's see what they have here as we are getting selects across the map. A little bit of Phoenix for Sick here, as the Cyphers are making their way back into it. We talked about this, Doug, off air. I'm a little sad you don't see as much KJ, but I'm glad to see Cypher because he was one of the first ones that I also played. So it's bittersweet. I love seeing what they've been doing with it, though, and all the changes coming through.
So here's another slight change, but an interesting one, and we can talk about this a good bit. Yesterday, Zoms was playing Astra against XSET on Haven, this time going back to the tried and true Omen. Astra just recently received a couple of nerfs that don't make her feel as fun to play, maybe not as impactful on the map. So we're seeing teams shift back towards Omen, and now Sentinels is joining that train.
Kind of dealing with those, now the word escapes me, charges, as you will, of having those or using them and not being able to gain as many or just have them stack as much does create a little more of a mind game, and where you're going to be using stars, where you're going to be putting them down to create that disadvantage for your opponent. Seeing while they're locking it in, TENZ on that jet, and we are going to get Pure on it as well. It's a lot of what this game comes down to. Not everything, but a lot of it does come down to that race for the up for these two shooters. They have such an impact on the game, Doug, and it's amazing to see once they get that in their hands.
Again, XSET is going to be starting on the attacking side. They had an 8-4 lead at half the last time they played on their respective sides, so we'll see how things pan out this time around. Defensively for Sentinels, it looks like we're just going to spread things out at the 50-yard line. We're going to see an investment of a dart towards a long to control A lobby control and see how XSET likes to play off of that.
I remember Zoms doing quite a bit, the 3K with his Frenzy here the last time they faced off on Haven. Just a couple days ago, he takes the tag to start this off. And again, you'll see a lot of Aaron watching towards that A side, allowing the team to work left, clearing what they can, take efficient space. And Sentinels, again, moving into an efficient retake position now that they can start gathering their members together.
Also, a slight adjustment from yesterday. XSET liked to prioritize the ult orbs into BCJ at the beginning of the map. This time it went into Zekin. Take a look at how Sick has already taken C-Long control. The paranoia is coming out from Zoms as they try to get onto the site. TENZ with just 9 health, not able to get anything more, but there's Dapper. You mentioned it earlier. The Frenzy coming up big as Dapper gets 2, Zoms gets 1 as well. Zekin gets cleaned up. Sentinels win the pistol.
That's big. They still had flank from Sick there. If anything went wrong, Sentinels feeling very good on that pistol. Can rinse and repeat the next few rounds here. And a lot of times on these rounds, as they come through, we'll see that TENZ will look for those eco frags. The faster TENZ can get to his ult, the faster they can start to control even more about this match.
Absolutely. I think you are absolutely right. For XSET this time around, it doesn't look like we're going to be getting much of a force. We are leaning a good bit towards C. I mentioned it in the previous round, but keep an eye on who gets fed these ultimate orbs.
Yeah.
That says a lot about how they want to prioritize their gameplay. They're already posted up down too long. Hasn't been picked up yet. And Zoms, they're playing with them, and they get the kill. That's big.
Just rocked out to start there. Quite a bit of damage done to the entire team. Sick again pushed. Once down long C, once out of garage. He backs up with the pressure and knowledge of Dapper in that window side. Or, I'm sorry, Aaron in that window side. Shazam holding patiently. Look how active Sentinels are right now in changing positions, moving, understanding that anybody or anything can be under pressure, but they're covering it here just for this eco.
Tripwire destroyed.
Very good call. Also worth noting, TENZ did buy up to a Bulldog. We're seeing that gun get a lot more love with the recent economy changes, but Dapper slowly working his way around the side as XSET tries to get in. A great swing as Aaron gets a kill onto him, but Shazam cleaning things up. Janitor duty coming through as Sentinels get to 2.
Decent amount of damage. TENZ armor, Zombs, Dapper. Few rebuys coming through on the side of Sentinels there. So XSET efficiently getting themselves to a different site and taking a few more down. Still without the plant to start, though. Let's see how we handle this one coming through. As we can see, the frags are on the board. Who's been accruing a few alt points to start off as we are into round 3. And we do have a few more Phantoms coming through. The Bulldog there for TENZ looks like the operator in the future with that low buy.
Zekin 1 point away from having Seekers online. Aaron just around the corner as well, but no fight for long. Control towards C. It actually looks like they want to turn their attention towards A. So both Pure and Zekin have taken aggressive spots. They've pushed off Shazam from A long control and I mean really A lobby control as well, because the only thing that Sentinels can use right now is Shazam's drone to get some space, but that's all they're getting.
Controlling mid with the camera right now from Aaron. And it looks like Sentinels obviously hold off on the pushes they were doing rounds before. They want to feel out how aggressive XSET actually wants to be. And like I said, XSET does very well with mid-round information. Right now, they're being denied everything from the side of Sentinels as they hold off, start to rotate a little bit towards A. 2 pushed up the garage right now, so there could be a fast-acting hit here if they want to get back behind XSET on what could be an A take.
Yeah, that very well may be the call, because XSET has gotten onto A pretty effortlessly, and it was a pretty telltale call as soon as you saw both those Astral Smokes come through. The shock darts are trying to push Def off, but he does manage to get the spike down. Dapper up in heaven, waiting for his teammates to show up. You've got TENZ, you've got Zombs, you've got everyone coming back around. You expect to see a hot hands hit from Sick, and then the curves to flash through. The Paranoia is going to come out as well. TENZ dashes in. BCJ does get one, as Def gets one as well. XSET seem to be able to hold fast. They do not give up a single inch, Riv.
One of the things that XSET has been able to do to scratch at that armor that Sentinels has been so strong at is retaking. They set up their own retake of the site, right? It's always about attacking. Yeah, you're trying to defend there, but XSET get in such an offensive type of position when they do that type of defense that it's hard for Sentinels to find their regular retake. You're trying to get in with a bit of blind, but they're all scattered. A few are in the site or few are out of the site, so you're never quite sure which angle you have to take. And that's, I think, where we saw XSET grabbing Sentinels off guard the first time. Yep. Sentinels would come in, double check angles, not have the right one. XSET flourishes in that.
Looking like a Garage C split this time around. Zekin does have the Seekers online, and it's just Zombs who's here. You see all the Astral Smoke starting to come through. Zombs is no longer a problem. The flash comes out. Pure dashes in. They have full control of C.
Ooh, Def almost finding one to his head there, but he comes up with a kill. As we are into round 4 here, a quick spike plant as we would expect.
Enemy remaining.
Side of Sentinels to just be saving up here. Not a problem as Dapper looks for the last few frags outside here on grass, and he rotates over around mid. XSET, I like the fact that they'll put pressure on around when they know they need to. You can't be afraid when you're playing against Sentinels, because they will take every inch away from you, and they will just start hitting sheriff shots around the board. Here we are back to buys. You can see everybody getting in on the frag game right now, which means all those alt points are building up at the same time. With the increase in the recent patch, it does come later in the game when you see them start to sway. What happens? A lot of times before, we would see Jets right now, dueling Blade Storms coming out, right? Firing, but that kind of control does not come until a little bit later. You still have a few alts on the board now. Shazam could use his huge this round. It looks like it's going to be quite a big default here to start from XSET.
So you've got TENZ with an op. He's been blinded and smoked off, so he's not going to get a decent sight line down A long. And because that's there, they can't really pull off of A, right? There's no knowledge of what's being pushed behind that smoke, so they have to hold fast. So you see Shao sticking around on A as well. But for XSET, it looks like they want to turn their attention over towards C. They have a couple of ultimates. Here comes the Cosmic Divide. The thing is, you've got to deal with Sick. Zombs has been given away. The Gravity Well is going to push him off as well. There's Sick. He gets flashed up. You've got a couple of additional resources. Dapper's already good for one. Zombs not able to get it. The Hunter Fury's coming out as well. Sick is still alive, and the spike hasn't made it on. Riv, they may rotate off. Okay, Zekin getting control there could be the difference maker. You've got TENZ and Shazam both slowly creeping their way forward, but Aaron should get every bit of info, and with 50 seconds left, yeah, they can flip it.
What a chaotic little start to this round. It's always a dice roll when you have that many people entering the site, Doug, and you haven't found a frag yet. It just means once that smoke drops, somebody's pants are going to be on the ground. We saw a few going down almost immediately. Aaron, they are not leaving anything up to chance here. And then they just use the uplink to know exactly where they're going to be finding TENZ. A 3v1 with the operator is likely. And we'll see if he keeps chances on the board with the first shot here.
And he is 1 point away from getting the Bladestorm online. So he could make some magic happen. Not going to spawn anyone on the first 50. Going to get cleaned up as well. Riv, you talked about Def and his mid-round calls after something maybe goes a little bit sideways or not as they had planned, and that was a perfect display of that.
Knowing that there's a threat, but not how to attack that threat, you run away to fight another day, because there was a lot of chaos going in the site. Zekin does drop that last member of Sentinels in sight, but there's no reason to figure out if they have rotated. You reset, you have power in numbers, and easy frag gets them uplink for Aaron, and they're just playing it very smart. That's that mid-round call we were mentioning. Round 6 here coming in. Looks like they may try to go fast towards A, but we do see Bladestorm is up now, and they just stand there for a quick photo from TENZ.
He's going to keep it online. He did get tagged up. He's only down to 40 health. Shazam's down to 0 health. TENZ is looking for more. And Pure is able to snatch him right out of the sky. Dapper's going to drop as well. It was just light buys, the Bladestorm being the one exception on the side of Sentinels, but XSET have firm control of the site. You've got Sick and Zombs who are now going to start to try to work their way up. Sick is in a decent spot, but now he's been smoked off as well. Has a curveball. He could certainly drop out of the smoke and try to make some nonsense happen, but it's a tough situation to be in.
And they know where to look. Flank protection. They have the Cypher traps and the camera right behind them, checking down short. They can all look towards window. They can all look towards entry of A. And it looks like they're going to be able to hold off here, so causing Sentinels to do a bit of a save. Nice shot by Sick. You cannot let that happen. Zekin. Def does drop back and get a little retribution on that frag. It looks like more exits for Zom will be what's on the menu. He gives himself up here. It looks like he wants to draw the fight. I like this.
Oh, they may not. They may have to deal with this. Yeah, they're starting to move up. Zom's not able to get any parting gifts to that round. So XSET, they take a 2-round lead. Sentinels should be able to buy in full here. Respond from much more of a position of strength, but a great start from XSET so far.
Every match is going to be different, but we did see, and you mentioned, the 3 rounds to Sentinels. The first time these teams met a few days off. First time, these teams met a few days ago in Haven. Then it was a back and forth round, and XSET took the entirety of the attacking half, and mostly with frag rounds. Spike didn't need to be planted on those, so XSET loving the aggressive play. Maybe off of Sentinels pushing. We'll see if they continue to go off what is kind of mid-round strategies right now. But Sentinels leaving most of their players back. Sick not advancing in mid or long C yet since the beginning rounds. A little bit from TENZ, though.
Yeah, he's worked his way up nice and cozy down a long with that op that we just mentioned. It's also, I mean, good drone usage. So you talked about how Pure is very happy to work his way up with just a little bit of utility. That time it was the drone, but he's got the op here, and it looks like they want to work their way towards B. Just keep an eye on where TENZ is if this is where the hit goes.
Checking in the site. Everyone outside. And they just get the creep in. The space is given. Shazam goes down. And they were hoping that XSET was going to use something kind of big enough to see, utility that would have let them know it's safer to go in, and XSET waltzes right in to start this one off, though.
It was for free, and they've been able to fend off what Sentinels attempt to do to take it back. It's just down to TENZ as they got cleaned up. A beautiful round
just routed.
from XSET.
Dougie, this is some impressive stuff right now. We still have a lot of games to play. And anything can happen within this. There's an operator not going down. I thought TENZ was going to be able to snag that one up for himself, but Pure finds the frag. 5-2, and we saw this sway both ways for these teams across their last series. So impressive stuff from XSET here. Let's see if they can keep it up. The take, walk in on the site, and just the dismantling of the defense here. Def able to get around them. The distraction they're causing in B. And a good little jet-on-jet action to end that one off here. As we head into our 8th round, Pure and Def sitting up top there, but everybody participating in the frags this game for both teams.
Scanning ahead.
See how things play out here. It looks like a lighter buy. Yeah, for Sentinels, they're not going to have a ton to work with. You see Shazam's going to get one step closer to having that Hunter's Fury online, while BCJ has his as well. Make a little noise happen towards C. Yeah, TENZ again taking that aggressive space. This time not with the op, but position nonetheless. It looks like XSET want to go back towards B with the secret as well.
A lot happening there at TENZ. Looks like he was either able to blast or get through that trap, so they know he's flanking around right now, but a lot of the focus for XSET is up towards mid. Now they turn around. That's going to be BCJ checking for TENZ, takes him down right away. And again, towards B. XSET liking this strategy, holding it very well, too. Usually we see B kind of be tough to hold. A lot of utility comes in, especially if the other team has a Sova. You're found out wherever you're hiding behind the smokes. But now they're chasing the Sova down as Hunt the Sova. Zekin's able to get that with the shorty, and Shazam takes Pure before he goes. But XSET is making their agency here known, their reason in the grand finals known to start things off.
Yeah, that's got to be one of the scariest things to see, right? You drop that recon dart, you got 4 people hanging around the corner, coming at you, a terrifying sight, and that's really kind of been the case for Sentinels this entire half, right? Like XSET, 6 rounds in a row, you touched on how effective they are on getting onto B and controlling it, which can often be a bit of like a 50-50 chaos fight to control the extremities of that site, but it's been all XSET this time around.
I like what Sentinels is starting to do. They want a way back in. You're going to give TENZ the op, let him move from spot to spot. Just go default sniper. Take a shot, move, take a shot, move. XSET, walk around it. It's going to be C this time. They are walking right into Dapper, so hopefully he can slow it down for Sentinels to get back for their patented retake.
ECJ looking to entry things with the Hunter's Fury, waiting for another. No, Pure got in around him. Dapper gets cleaned up. The Blade Storm comes on through. Aaron's in a great spot. The swing, the tripwire is there to cause problems as well. Shazam's trying to get a little bit of his own with his Hunter's Fury. Does clean up Def, leaving things in 3v2 in favor of Sentinels. The spike is down. You've got BCJ, who's got 2 shock darts, and he has the op in his hands. Aaron has control of Garage, so they have a decent spot here, but the thing is, you're going to have to take the fight to BCJ. If you don't clean him up quickly, what a shot from BCJ to get it down to a 2v2. BCJ so patient. Aaron slowly worked his way while all of that was going down. Again, reestablished control of Garage. BCJ narrowly missing. Shazam's in a sandwich. It's not a good one, no, as Aaron gets a 3rd on the round. Great round from him to get XSET to 7.
Never a round without pressure so far from XSET. Everything seems like such a task right now for Sentinels to find a way around these strategies. Back in. Aaron getting there immediately, setting up a trap for Garage. BCJ, we mentioned him in the pregame along with Pure, has been putting up shots. And it just seems like Sentinels are working from behind here on each one of these rounds. And XSET is painting the picture of their last matchup here, taking all the consecutive final rounds of their attacking side. If they can still do it, they only have 3 more to go.
So the tripwire, or excuse me, the Cypher Cage goes up to foul. Oh my goodness. Excellent shot from TENZ to clean up Def. It does get traded out, but that should give him a good bit of room to work with towards A. They are walking to Cypher Util, though.
Great setup by Sentinels here to shut this one down, but Sick actually getting a little concussed there. Couldn't make the shot happen. BCJ takes him down. They get into the site and they try to trade. Now jumping around. Dapper's off his footing there, and Pure is able to drop him after the tailwind. And again, an instant attack going in onto Sentinels, knowing that they were a little bleeding in that, a little bloody in that round from the econ. And XSET is just continuously pushing the envelope here against Sentinels in our first half of Haven. It's a best of 5. I cannot wait to see what starts to happen. Sentinels always a team to start to read, play differently, and we saw swings on Icebox come back to a close. I feel like Sentinels is going to be able to do just about the same thing as they get on attack here.
So keep an eye on the op in the hands of Pure. Are going to be working for a long control. TENZ has one of his own down C long. Not going to connect onto anything. The gravity well pushes him back, but with at least the sight line in favor of XSET down A long, they can work towards short as well. But it looks like they actually want to work into Garage. The Cosmic Divide is coming up as well. See how things play out. This is a fake, Riv.
such an interesting cosmic divide because it makes you think whether you want to stand in front of it or behind it. If you're behind it too long, people are coming in the sight, so you're always messing with your opponent's initial hold spot. What a cosmic divide to start things off as the shuffle happens. Sentinels don't seem to be too off their footing on this, and Dapper comes up with a few as Shazam helps.
The neural theft comes through as Aaron continues to dance around, sick going in aggressive. The paranoia is going to push him off, but they know exactly where Aaron is. Getting cooked! Gets cleaned up. Zekin good for one. It's left in a 1v2. Zom's only down to 10 health, but no, it's Sick who stops the bleeding for Sentinels. We were talking about that cosmic divide and how you're kind of forced to do something with that, right? Like, you can't just passively let that play off. You deny so much info, and then they invested the Seekers into Garage to really sell that hit that way while they were going A, but a great response from Sentinels. Again, Sick comes up big at the end there to win that final duel, avoid any sort of monkey business. A great round from Sentinels.
Yeah, really fast adaptation. I think that's where Sentinels as well have quite a strength in their team. A lot of these rounds we've seen XSET do a few things, allow Sentinels to break defense, go around. That was all in the same motion. Sentinels are very good at constantly reading what's going on, so they were able to play with the flow of that, get themselves another round, and a fourth would be beautiful here, Doug.
Beautiful indeed. We're looking like a Garage C split for XSET this time around. Def has gotten pretty far up. There's an op on the other side. Not going to connect. Here comes the run it back. TENZ good for one with the Blade Storm. Going up top looking for the second. Doesn't get it. But continues to hunt, and he doesn't get anything else. Aaron with just 19 health. The spike isn't down yet. The neural theft is going to come out as well. BCJ's left alone. And he's going to get cleaned up. You said they desperately needed the fourth Riv, and they got it.
We see the effects of those ultimates, too, coming through. You know, with TENZ not getting a bunch of frags, you're still participating. You're not yelling at a guy for not getting frags, but the ult points are not ringing in as they should. So knowing he can do that, we see what it opens up for the teams, and Sentinels have been missing that oomph here in the first half. 8-4, something you can work with, a little bit of padding here as they come into the second half. Overall, XSET just showing up beautifully to start this grand final series.
Beautifully indeed, and a bit of a deja vu, because again, this is maybe not in the same order, but this was the score that we walked into the second half on last time they played on Haven. Sentinels were able to previously rattle off the first four, and then XSET ran away with it. We'll see how things play out this time around. Attack-wise, looks like they're going to try to work towards Garage, see if they can poke and prod their way into map control.
It's just not a spike, defusal, or explosion game. It's a frag game. You love to see it. We definitely have the spike plan in here, but everything just keeps rounding out before the Radiant Knight goes off. Slow movement here for the pistol round of the second half. Sentinels actually getting themselves in a decent forward position in mid. A little bit of a hit on Sick there, and nobody's pushing up long C just yet. Zoms feels comfortable about regrouping with the team now. And let's see what kind of movement you actually get out of XSET. They're moving around the middle of the map. They're like seeing the Sentinels playbook, dash in, plant, dash out. You're not getting to be this round.
No, but it looks like they have left a pretty car. My gosh, Def. That's a heck of a way to start things off. So that severely impedes things, but they're gonna get onto the site anyway. TENZ should be able to get the spike down. You're starting to see the remaining members of XSET rotate over. You've got BCJ who's shown up, Pura has shown up as well, but Sick aggressively taking the fight into that cut, denying any sort of entry, and delay things more and more. A great flash, somehow stays alive, doesn't take any damage, looking for more, no. He gets cleaned up at the hands of Pura as XSET slowly start to creep their way forward and get more control onto the site. BCJ spot Shazam cleans it up as well as members of Sentinels fall apart. XSET take full control of the site. They get past Sick, they get past the remaining members, and they take the pistol.
XSET just, Sentinels just seem scattered in the defense there. 2 long, 2 sight, 1 under, nobody was short. Didn't seem like they really were able to get themselves into position before that happened, or this also didn't help. So their defense is already kind of put at a deficiency there. So it's really tough to actually stop full utility coming in from 4. But great job by XSET once again. They do not allow that padding to help Sentinels here to start things off, and they keep the pressure on.
Pura rocking a Marshall this time around. Pistols across the board for Sentinels. As TENZ has already been tagged up pretty considerably. Just down to 34 health. Def once again getting the opening frag and gets a second one.
Word.
Riv, this was something that we're talking about. We didn't get to touch on the stat, but Def, especially on Haven, he went 5-1 in first contact the last time they played. You don't expect that out of an Astra, but Def just seems to make things happen.
True to his role. The smoker smoking people. Zekin gonna come up on that one, take down Shazam. But yeah, Def, I mean, he has literally been the keystone to what allows XSET to use this package correctly and what they've formed now coming into this VCT. It's a very tough team to get behind, figure out what they're doing. We haven't seen Sentinels do it yet on this first map, but there are more to go. That's just one of those days, too. If you're on the other end, you're like, all right, I get it. You're having one of those days. There's a double defuse to get us through a few rounds. And now we are on to our third round of the second half. TENZ holding off for the purchase. Let's see what he goes for. Are they just holding off for the purchase?
Looks like we've got a technical. We'll figure out what's going on. We'll get you guys info as soon as we can possibly get it. But for now, it's been XSET. It's been XSET most of the way, as you can see on the timeline. They rattle off way too many rounds in a row in the first half, and then they win the pistol and the following one as well. So we'll see how Sentinels approach this. Yeah. And again, as soon as we get some info, we'll relay it to you all at home. Okay. I've been informed of the culprit, and it's a pesky one at that. The mouse ran out of batteries, but it seems to have been rectified. Pop a couple double A's in there, triple A's, you know, whatever it is. But it looks like we're getting right back into the action.
That's a weighty one.
Yeah, that is.
Imagine like mid-match, you're like, I now have to cord my wireless mouse. You're like this extra weight dragging around. Man, all those little, getting the heebie-jeebies just thinking about it. See how they start this. Sentinels, they like to cover this mid to start. Love getting out here. Zekin's going to cruise through that A main portion and make sure nobody's in lobby area. Sentinels in, out. Who's got that spike in hand? Jump over. It's going to be sick. They destroy it for him, and it's going to be the quick plant. Cloudburst onto 6 so he can get out, and they are goodbye. Fight tomorrow here. Let's see what happens.
So this has already been an adjustment because it was TENZ previously who would dash in, plant, and dash out. This time it's Sick who has been sent on the kamikaze mission of trying to get it down and then get away. Full site control here in favor of XSET, but they have to understand that they've got to take the fight to Sentinels. They can't just let it go. Aaron drops. TENZ going in aggressive as he tries to work his way around as it's just dropping down to a 2v2 Tef. Down to 10 health. Second on the tap. You've got to fight out. You've got to work your way out of sight. You've got to stick the fight to them. As both teams are just blasting through smoke. Zekin goes aggressive. Zekin good for one. Looking for the second. TENZ on it. Def in the 1v1, and TENZ comes up big.
I mean, that is an amazing, amazing clip. And I'm sure Sideshow loved that. To focus on the no tracers. They were all panicking to figure out who was shooting from where based on audio because of the Phantoms, because of the Spectres, and then had to commit. That became such an intense round for everybody. And at the end, a huge pickup coming in for the side of Sentinels. What a round there, and what intensity we're getting to on these ones. So the last drop of each one. Now we start off again, round number 16. Let's see what these teams have for each other here. Sentinels trying to get that push back. Like I said, I feel like they very much could get the same string of rounds here coming into the T side. It sometimes happens like that as you control the econ, control the game.
Sentinels make a little bit of noise down A long. See Dapper's drop to Cam. And it looks like they're going to reconsider their approach as BCJ gets a ton of info really to understand that there is some presence down middle of the map, but not a ton. See, excellent. I mean, you look at the utility on the minimap, you see that Aaron has pretty much locked down on top of Def. They also have the Cosmic Divide. This looks like it's going to be a hit. Oh my gosh, it doesn't even get started. Never leaves the gates as BCJ already drops one. With the Sheriff, that Chalk Dart's going to hurt as well. They're going to have to push it forward and deal with them as BCJ backs up, continues to buy time, waiting for Zekin and the rest of the gang to show up. BCJ gets a second, gets a third. BCJ is a man possessed right now.
30 seconds.
speechless on actually what's happening right here. We are seeing, okay, so let's focus on Shazam as he goes through. We'll get back to this because 3v1, Shazam working a little bit of magic here. They are in 1v1 positions. The next shot comes out. That's going to be the trade and fire. Contact made, and Pure cleans it up. But let's be honest. The shots TENZ is catching today are super unfortunate. But that's not to take any credit away from his fragger who is taking him down. Because we just saw him get taken down, too, by a Zekin blip from the Spectre around before through mid-wall. Like, those are rough to play with. But XSET, they're making it happen for a reason. It's because they have trained at this spot, and they are feeling it.
All right, you see Zoms and Sick, along with Dapper, going a bit light. As TENZ and Shazam are buying full. You see Shazam with the rifle just 1 point away from the Hunter's Fury, so if he can maybe get a kill going with that, invest the gun that way, bring that Hunter's Fury online a bit faster if at all possible. But you've already got the Trailblazer clearing out space. TENZ with a great pick to open things up. Oh! Hunter's Fury out from BCJ. I think it's going to tag anything up. Yeah, they've gotten onto A-Riv.
Very close, and a lot of confidence on this round for XSET. Just out there crouch spraying on these plays, thinking they're going to win the quick 1v1s. TENZ a little angry now, and he's going to get himself going here. Basically picking up a fourth. No, BCJ comes to clean that one up. Spectre now grabs himself a Phantom and just chucked right out of there. Shazam finds him with the bounce, and that's going to be another round for Sentinels. Not yet backs against the wall with a game point pressure, but they are keeping XSET off that here at 11 rounds for themselves. Sentinels now have 6 as they look for more.
And TENZ, his game plan that round was just aggression, right? Like, full sends down A long, gets all the way up onto heaven, and then cuts off the rotation. Yeah, that's exactly what we want to see out of him, but it's going to take a bit more than that to claw your way back into this thing again. XSET with a pretty cozy lead here, as XSET are staring up this deficit. Fortunately for them, XSET are on pistols this time around. Def going in aggressive.
Shazam there, preparing for a bit of a Hunter's Fury. Didn't yet come out, so they can possibly use that for the post plant. And this Phoenix ultimate, run it back for the retake or take on the site here. Looks like he may try to use that through garage after getting tagged out. Pure drops the Phoenix, run it back before it happens.
Dude, you called it. He followed the drone. He got space on the site and was able to convert it onto a kill. Very well played from the fellas on the side of XSET. Additionally, you see Aaron is taking full C-long control as Sentinels here. I mean, they still have an advantage as far as weaponry goes, so they should be able to make something happen. Yeah, Pure's going to get snatched down from the skies as well. That's going to give him B control.
That's scary to see from TENZ. He is absolutely feeling it now. It's going to be an A-B plant. Shazam may not be able to make it out alive, but he gives a little shimmy. He keeps himself up with the Phantom, and now they find Def on the other side as it's just going to be a defensive setup. Sentinels aren't playing any games here, if you follow me. And it looks like they're just going to try to clean this one up. Def, though, says we're not finished just yet. Zoms, doggy, this could be some big damage.
Yeah, but I mean, Def and Zekin just have Sheriff's, and now they don't have Zekin, and they don't have Def either. Dapper comes up big, hits both sides, cleans up the round. So 11-7 still in favor of XSET. And again, that wasn't that they didn't have a ton to work with there. For them to have gotten that down to a 2v2, and that feels pretty good in itself.
I thought that pinch into the backside was going to catch him off, but easy peasy. The 1-2 kill for Dapper. The flank isn't going to stop him. 3 ultimates ready here for Sentinels. This looks great, and this is exactly what they need to continue to fold rounds over in their favor. Right, you use one of the Hunter's Fury was saved last round. Sick went down last round. They're still able to capitalize on the round. So you can see a lot more starting to happen for Sentinels as they get comfortable. They start to accumulate these ultimates and can kind of play the game a little bit more how they want. This focus makes me think they want to follow Sick here, and we'll see how close he gets before he activates ultimate.
He does have the spike too. So they've gotten short control. XSET's using a drone to understand there's no pressure mid, so you should have a pretty good idea of where the hit is. Pure's got a lot on his hands. The ult drops, but the Paranoid is going to follow. The Hunter Fury is going to come out as well. As TENZ blinded, Pure good onto one, onto Zoms. As he dances around the site, should have a decent spot of where TENZ is too. The Cosmic Divide comes out. TENZ no longer an option. Sick trades it out as the spike should go down.
Def all the way across the map right now. Hearing the spike go down. Kind of has to regain control of all of this area. Wondering if someone's B. Do they go without him? Do they not? Looking at utility. It's only a few stars here for Def if he calls back and puts out a few. Waiting for that cooldown to come back on his charges.
Sick has no armor. And Dapper's tagged up. Great curveball. Yep, you see Aaron immediately has to back up, but BCJ holds fast. They're going to swing out. Dapper's in a great spot. Dapper's in a great spot. You've got to check that. He's good for one shot, good for the other one as well. The 1v1 goes in favor of Def. The IGL for XSET comes up big again, but is he going to get the defuse? He should. What a round from XSET.
You know, no matter how many times you're in that situation, it always feels like you don't have enough time, but these pros make it seem like ages. All the way over at C, Def knowing 45 seconds on that timer, he can make his way over. Neither Aaron or BCJ jumped the gun. Great team play there. And Sentinels had a beautiful defense set up. That was the crossfire there. I think a few shots just got missed after that curveball came out. And Sentinels dropping a few that they should definitely have.
XSET find themselves on map point, looking to get first blood in this best of 5 series. TENZ has the Blade Storm Zom, should be able to flip the map as well with the From the Shadows, should he choose to do so. But you've got the drone taking short, you've got 2 members of Sentinels taking long. The question is, will the spike come in? Oh, Pure is offline.
Beautiful, Sick.
Sick looking to get a second. Yep, that's going to open things up. You've also got, at this point, Shazam working his way through short. The rest of Sentinels will follow. Smokes are coming out. They have full control of A. Now the question is, how aggressively does Sick play this?
See, he looks like he's staying in. I love the switch here by Sentinels. You know, I was wrong. It was not the up rush for them, especially with economy down. They have to figure something else out. And a lot of these rounds, BCJ again, have come into favor of XSET because Sentinels are executing, utility executing. This one, they just sneak in. They take it. They go under the radar, and that's what throws XSET off. Now, XSET being on fire, will they be able to retake now as they're just picking them apart? Sick with another one, but it's a 2v1. Can he stand tall versus both Def and BCJ?
He's been tagged. He's got the op, or excuse me, he's got the ult. Sick.
There it is.
And my gosh, Sick clutches that round away to keep Haven alive. Sick just goes nuts.
Remember how he had an ultimate just a few rounds ago that got snuffed out? Well, he's got run it back again. Exactly what Sentinels need. If you needed an ultimate more than that, maybe Blade Storm or something, but Sick now can gain information with this. They can break garage. They can break a site. If nothing happens, they have a get out of jail free card for a moment. And if used correctly, after the confidence of that ace, Sick could start to control this game. 4 ultimates ready now on the side of Sentinels here as they start to string a few rounds together. 12 to 8. Sick again, coming up with 3.
What do you do with that?
You don't. You just got slapped in the face with confidence.
Dude had 2 bullets on the last gunfight of the previous round and then opens it up like that. Sick making a compelling argument for one of the best duelists in the world. A flawless round from Sentinels. XSET didn't have a ton to work with, right? It was just pistols, but that was still a beautiful sight to see.
Absolutely absurd. Still not letting any of those 3 frag him. Like, just boom, boom. You got hit maybe once there? Yeah. A quick shot from what I believe was a Sheriff through the armor and then Zabadi. But that feels good. No ultimates needed on that round. Well, TENZ did rip his out there, so you got that. But we'll see if XSET can fire back here. Sentinels may be taking a little bit slower with the ultimates ready on their side. Seekers there. If they can get Seekers out, Freedom becomes a bit easier to grab in movement. So it's going to be Shazam with a drone up C long first to figure out that they're working with an Astra and Cypher at C. Big info.
Thunder's Fury has been used. Apparently it's going to come out as well as the dash comes through. Zoms, is he going to stick it? Oh my gosh, Zoms stuck it. He's gotten onto the back of the site. He's going to get the spike down as well. No member of XSET has really made their way past Garage or from Defender Spawn.
Again, fast strat. Not setting up to let XSET figure out where they can pressure, where they can get audio cues. BCJ answers with a Hunter's Fury. Seekers come out now, and these are the things they have to worry about.
My gosh! Def just goes nuts there. Swings out through double doors, gets both of those picks. Huge kills from him. leaving Sentinels in a 2v5. The Cosmic Divide's going to come out. The Neural Theft comes through as well, but Zombs stands alone, looking to make magic happen. One, spam through the smoke, and that's all it's going to be. BCJ is going to get the defuse. XSET take map 1, 13-9. When we return, map 2.
My truth stay hidden.
Which brings me to my next point. Do we think KO would date an air fryer?
Dude, Jacob. I hacked into VCT, bro. We're in VCT.
Oh.
This is our chance.
God.
Okay,
Hey,
what's up, VCT
hi,
chat?
hi,
We have a
everyone.
big announcement for you guys.
A super big
Okay,
announcement.
so
But first, do you think KO would date an air fryer? I
no,
think it's something that's very possible.
nope. We don't have that much time, dude.
somehow
I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. Don't have that much time. Okay, you're muted. That's it. Hi, VCT chat. What's up? I'm Alex. This is Jacob. We're Loading Screens hosts every Tuesday and Thursday this month at 11 a.m. on Twitch and YouTube. We're going to be giving away $50 Valorant gift cards. $50 Valorant gift cards Tuesdays and Thursdays, 11 a.m. on Loading Screen right here. Okay, announcement done. Jacob, do you have anything you would like to say?
Yes.
Okay, what?
Do you think that
No!
would date Boombot?
Jacob,
I think it's something
stop!
we should.
No!
Look, you got me. The chance at just one glance to your glory. I needed it to get my back. Do you need anything? You can use me, I'm lost. Do you see anything? You wanna change your brain?
Welcome back, friends. Map 1 in the books in favor of XSET, but we still got plenty in store in this grand finals. I'm Doug, and with me is Riv. It was a good map to start, and you know what? An event like this, a match like this, would not be possible without some of the partners that have come together to make this event a reality. And one of them is our friends over at Zowie. With exclusive technologies like dynamic accuracy and color vibrance, Zowie monitors make it easier than ever to track enemies, control weapon spray, which is key if you're Phantom Gang, and secure the site for your team. Check out zowie.benq.com for more info, or if you'd like to learn more about how dynamic accuracy can affect your gameplay, just search what is DIAC, at least that's how I would pronounce that, to skip right to the good stuff, which reminds me, I probably need to upgrade my monitors. I'm certainly overdue. Riv, we got to talk about map 1. We got to talk about Haven. It was there. XSET was able to win it the first time around, and freaking A, they did it again.
It does seem like XSET setting their own pace is something they require. The agency they're able to grab when they can string ults together, when they can continuously push a strategy, they'd hit A, they'd hit C, they'd hit A, and they continue to vary it up. And honestly, it always came a few 30, 40 seconds into the round once they would have broken what the initial setup for Sentinels was. And then we're seeing an incredibly strong post plant from XSET, where most teams fall to Sentinels every time in the books.
It was just really an excellent performance. And look, while XSET was able to walk away with a win, you've got to talk about some of the standout performances on the side of Sentinels. This really felt like a heavyweight title fight, right? Like two juggernauts who were just trading blows, strength coming from both teams, but XSET walked away victorious this time around. Objective wins at 4-0. You see the timeline play out. But now we shift our attention to the second map of this best of 5, and it is Breeze. You see here, BCJ, we talked about him. He went nuts, and there's really no reason for me to think that he would not do the same on Breeze.
And then again, it just gives you that powerhouse package that they are going to be able to bring to this matchup. At the end of the last map, we saw Sick waking up a bit. Shazam was there finding a few of his frags. TENZ needs to start coming online a little bit more. I just don't think it was a full game phase from Sentinels. That's not to say they didn't come to play. It's just from their last series as well, watching this, we saw them kind of indecisively spike dropping right on site and toggling spike to each other, doing things. It just didn't seem like full force Sentinels, right? They're a little reserved right now. And once that's back online, I think you're going to see incredibly close games over time. It's just if they can find that right now, and there's no real secret to the sauce other than seeing what Sick did at the end for them and the confidence being built up here.
Yep. Let's zoom out a little bit and take a look at the maps that are going to be played out in this best of 5 again, just so we can take a stock of where we were and where we are headed for the next couple of hours. We mentioned Haven in the books. It was a pretty win from XSET, 13-9, and then that's going to set us over to Breeze up next defensively, and then Icebox shortly after that. As things continue to pan out, you've got Ascent, and then last but not least, if needed, we're going to be heading over to Split. So we've got an excellent, we've got a full freaking 5-course meal in front of us. The appetizer delivered, and you know it's only going to get better. Folks, we're going to cut to a break. When we return, we've got Agent Select, we've got Breeze. You're not going to want to miss it. Stay tuned.
Got the money in the bank. money in the bank. Money in the bank. Hit you with the 808. Hit you with the. Hit you with the bank. Hit you with the. Hit you with the 808. Hit you with the. Hit you with the 808.
We're back, dear friends. Thank you so much for sticking with us through the break. VCT Stage 3 Challengers 1 Grand Finals. I'm Doug. With me is my main man, Riv. Haven in the books. Now we can turn our attention over to Breeze. Breeze, we've seen the map, it being so big and there being so much of the map to control that oftentimes it just seems like aggression upon aggression upon aggression, and who's flanking who at the end of the day. That makes for a fun map to watch.
It really does. I think a lot of teams are starting to utilize the fact that elbow gets you quickly up into mid. You can really gain a lot of ground to look back, start to pincer things without really meeting any opposing force by the time you get there. And maybe at the top of elbow is where you start to. Having that ground to work with is something Sentinels use very well. Anytime Sentinels gets information, it's like +5, right, to any other team getting a plus view, +1 or 2. So the amount of info space that Sentinels can take on this map, I think, benefits them in how they play according to that information. XSET, I mean, we should just say both these teams are undefeated on the map itself, so it's going to be awesome to see.
Small sample size, but yes, that is true.
Very,
Dark Zero,
but it's not true.
Very small. Very small. XSET got the best of Dark Zero Esports 13-9 on Breeze, and then for Sentinels, they were able to get the best of both 100 Thieves and Envy to get them to a record. Composition-wise, they're almost the exact same. The one slight difference is that you've got a Sova on the hands of Sentinels. Meanwhile, for XSET, you've got Cypher joining the fold for Def. Def had a standout performance previously. We'll see if he's able to replicate that success. XSET starting off on the attack, and it's going to be a good one. Keep an eye on Viper utility. That often tells so much of how teams want to play. So far, we've got it roped off across mid, which often gives a cue that you're going to want to work in through double doors towards A, but that is not where they're positioned.
Turret out.
All right, we have XSET on attack, Sentinels on defense to start us off. Looks like XSET will utilize a bit of that elbow area. They could find Sick quite quick. Sick always pushes. It was C long with the Phoenix on Haven. Now it's into mid. He gets to that middle area, the tower, and now it could be even bigger. Damage takes 2. Spike, and now Sentinels can move accordingly as Shazam whips out a beautiful shot.
Yikes,
what? Yo, Sentinels are online to start pistol.
That Ghost is just problematic at best, and they read it, right? Like, we talked about the wall going up and oftentimes what that tells, but the elbow push was the one thing that was a slight difference. What a start. What a pistol from Sentinel. Sick with 3. Sha got the last 2. An excellent start.
There's space to be grabbed, and they grabbed it right away. Sick taking an adventure straight down mid. He's like, you know what? I like long walks on the beach. I want to immediately. Starts heading that way. finds 2. Why not? Thank you very much. And the fact that that was Spike right off the bat, your wall got played against you so hard there on the side of XSET. Sentinels with a great start on that first round.
For XSET here, a much heavier stack towards A. You've got BCJ on the Viper towards B. No wall coming up, and they do have a bit of a mixed buy. Both Def and BCJ have Marshals.
Oh, I love the Marshall usage on this, Dougie.
Yeah, I imagine Sentinels fans are loving that Vandal in the hands of Sick even more this early. It's just like, that just, you almost don't want to play the round, right? Like, you're going into a Vandal with no armor, no real weapons. What do you do?
Especially if you hear it early.
Yeah.
He is hovering the back. I think it's the last thing they want to hear. Oh, BCJ on the TENZ. Breeze sees so many Marshall rounds, Doug.
Good shock dart from Shazam to push Aaron off. Oh, Def not able to land the shot, but there's that Vandal that we talked about. Aaron just on the other side with Sick there. You just heard the door close, but Shazam actually went up. Excuse me, it didn't close, it opened up, and Aaron was caught with his proverbial pants down. But for XSET, they seem to be able to get onto the site anyway. In with the flash is Pure trying to plan it. BCJ good for 1. Just 2 members remaining on the side of XSET as the spike goes down. BCJ and Pure have like no health to their name. It's just BCJ giving 1 a haircut. Not able to land the shot though as Sha gets 3. Sentinels get to 2.
Tough. XSET pushing the envelope on that one to see if they can get themselves a force buy with the Marshals coming through. Sentinel says no, we'll put you down for a few more rounds, and the Vandal stays up with 6 HP.
Yeah. Well,
Sick does not lose it.
Well, not just that, but now Sick has the Seekers online, right? Like, so you see the dividends pay off financially. He's going to carry it into the next round. He's also got his ultimate in round 3, which also feels terrible. That's just a really good start from Sentinels.
So we see most of the KJ utility put over towards that A side. Definitely on that defense, it helps out so much. KJ Cypher on Sentinels, which means you have all that sight watch utility, plus your attacking side has flank watch, which means you are able to push up here and not worry all that much. Turret is going to cover your hallway. You got that trap on your backside. Doug, it looks like an A hit.
They're going. Def is leading the charge too with the spike in hand. He's gotten in through, so they're going to be planning right on the other side of that pyramid. If BCJ is able to stay alive, you've got to remain control. You've got to maintain control of caves here because you've got excellent post plants lineups with the Viper's Pit, but you've got to stay alive. You've got to keep control of that. Second drop, Sick going in aggressive, looking for another one as the spike continues to tick away. The tap has been defused, but he drops. Sick going in aggressive. Aaron's going to get cleaned up as well. Aaron looking for more. As BCJ's there. He doesn't have any more util. The kills come through, but Sentinels, Shazam is the last one standing through that chaos. A double with the Bulldog at the end and the defuse.
This was one of the things that I thought Breeze would bring to the table, and it's one of my favorite, is the fact that every member of both teams are literally in the site just on the other side of this gas wall game and waiting for it to go down. If there's a stat that starts coming up of what map has the most 5v5 spike plans, A side or B on Breeze is going to be taking it, because it is so rowdy after that spike goes down and all the utility just starts flying. It brings a different dynamic of just like hyper firefight that you are put in as soon as that gas wall goes down that really no other map is offered.
Rowdy. I like how you call that. That was rowdy. A rowdy start from TENZ there to get the opening pick onto Def, playing off of the flash from Sick. So we're starting to see it may not be with presence of body, but investing the utility to control the middle of the map.
Dapper waiting patiently on the left. He has good control, so he pops this molly here, and he looks to his right side. Doesn't have to worry about too much on his left as he can organize what's going on. All of these things you have to delay your opponents. He's starting to push forward a bit. Beautiful look, beautiful peek. Great job by Sentinels to quickly pick up 2 here. Not being afraid of the eco that XSET could be putting forward.
Ooh. Crispy little shot from Zekin, but not going to get a chance to do it again as TENZ cleans him up. Sick gets the last. Sentinels cruise through the round. They've roared out of the gates, a 4-0 lead. Now XSET should be able to buy up, but even then for XSET, it's been interesting to watch how they're managing their economy, because even when you expect them to be absolutely broke, they're still bringing in some spice, right? And it's been primarily by way of Marshals.
Sentinels have found a way to shut down both Def and Pure, two of the ones that were firing very well last map. And that's always going to help when you just kind of have your opponent's number over and over again. That confidence and peak in favor of Sentinels here as we start off round 5. Guns on both sides, Doug. And it does look like a bit of a split strat here. Obviously, Hallway will be watched for any push, flank, what's coming through there. But it looks like the rotation towards B could be where they end.
Interesting. So they draw out the Hunter's Fury from Shazam. And I mean, you got a little bit, right? Like you tagged up Aaron, but that's all you got. He's going to drop the lockdown, but it's actually going to be a hit towards B. Keep in mind that BCJ has the Viper's Pit. Great pick on Aaron. The Seekers are going to come out as well. Here we go. Now the hit's going to come through. Sick. Managing to stay alive. Let one dash through, but Pure punishes him at the end of the day. The spike is still not fully committed onto the site. You see members of Sentinel start to rotate.
Really neat seeing the distant Killjoy ultimates here to create opposite rotations from what their opponents would think. Zom's coming up huge there, and these gun rounds are not feeling like gun rounds for XSET. And whatever happened last map, Sentinels shook it off, and they are coming out firing on this one. 9-2 for Sick. He carries that Phoenix performance at the end of last game into this one, and Shazam is right there on his heels.
Yeah, dude, but boy was on one at the end of that last map, and as you said,
Yeah, he was.
picked it right back up. And as you said, it's really been a complete performance from Sentinels, 5 rounds in a row. Now for XSET, you've got weapons again. You've got a Guardian in the hands of Zekin. Pure is going to bring the Blade Storm into things as well. We'll see how it plays out.
TENZ already wanting some space. He knows that turret's set up, and he is actually going to be in a great position to catch a shoulder of Deft here before Deft would see him. That's an easy frag. X gets the second one, starting the pre-fire as well. Just feeling it right now. TENZ with some beautiful aim.
Standing ahead.
Beautiful indeed. And again, like, this is another gun round, right? Pure has to go in aggressive. There you go. The Blade Storm good on one, but it gets traded out. Zekin with the flash. They got cleaned up. Investing the second. The spike has not really made its way past caves at all. It's just BCJ who's up on a one-man mission in a 1v3. He's going to have to rotate back. He's got time. I mean, he has no health, Riv.
They're just going to swarm him, even if he does make it to pyramids. As soon as they hear that spike. All right.
Riv, so talk to me about why it's been so successful. What have Sentinels been able to do that XSET haven't been able to control?
Sentinels, they're taking that space. They're able to get themselves into position, as well as you got to give credit to the aim being on. But here, just the TENZ with the quick flicks, not the flicks, but the quick accuracy, the quick aim, and being just having that reaction speed is the word I wanted. Oh my word. It's hard to word today, Doug. Yeah, the reaction speed there. It is just coming online. It's something we were missing from Sentinels in the previous map. They seemed a bit sluggish. Like I said, double corner checking as you go into a site and you'd have backs to just one member of XSET. Everything is flowing much more smoothly here. And again, the aggression. Sick pushes up. The info is there. And they instantly work more confidently with the info. Catch a bullet in the head and that kind of slows things down. But that's where they're getting their confidence here in these rounds to keep stepping forward.
So look at how far up Shazam has gotten at this point, right? Like working the middle of the map. First it was Sick who got cleaned up thanks to the Marshall shot from Dev, but look, oh my gosh! What? Dev got onto one as well. Now we understand why they're buying those Marshalls as frequently as they are, because if you can do stuff like that, I mean, what's the problem? Why don't you buy it more?
I mean, Doug, I think we've all felt it on this map, no matter if we're the best aim in the world or we're not. The distance that you're shooting at is still something your brain is min-maxing. So having sheriffs all the time guarantees that's happening. Like these shots right here, having 3 or 4 bullets are then feet outside your opponent if you're starting to miss the recoil. And it's something everybody's still adjusting to. So to get a little Marshall in your pocket for a little cheaper, and you can roll rounds like that. And I think we've been seeing it more and more. I think there were 3 Marshalls in a game just yesterday, I was remembering. Yeah, it's effective.
Effective indeed, as we just saw. Full display for XSET. They look to continue to roll things as they've got an op now in the hands of Pure. and a much more quiet start. Look at how defensively, look at the investment of utility from XSET, right? You've got the alarm bot, you've got a turret, you've got tripwires to make sure nobody's pushing in. You have to approach this map that way because it's so big and because there's so many different things to control. Oh my god! Zombs!
Oh my god!
Zombs! Zombs with 4 mows down XSET.
Absurd play by Zoms. Always good for 2, 3, 4. He just does not stop once you get that ripcord pulled. In the transfer after transfer and the release of the trigger to then go back onto the next one and get the quadra. That was something else. An absolute poised in the face of danger.
Just unreal.
Woo!
Unreal. Vintage Sentinels right there. Zoms has the Viper's Pit online here, so oftentimes you'll see, and it doesn't look like he's positioned for it, but oftentimes you'll see a team just immediately invest that once the gate goes down to deny entry onto a site. This time it looks like Zoms is going to be a bit more patient, excuse me. With that, as Dapper has the lockdown, TENZ with the Bladestorm as well, while there are a couple of ultimates on the side of XSET, and a full stack towards B, except for Def. Oh, here they go. They're going to go again. A little rinse, a little repeat, and so far, the outcome has been slightly different. But Zoms is going to get a chance to pull off heroics again. It's going to switch out. BCJ actually cleaned him up. So they've gotten onto the site. Another one drops. The Viper's Pit's going to come through, and you've got to keep an eye on Def as he's on the rotate, but he might get too late, right? Like, if the spike doesn't get there in time, there he goes. He's one onto Shazam. Dapper's the last one standing. It comes together perfectly for XSET as they get to 2.
They were able to create a little bit of chaos in that round, and it helped. A lot of what Sentinels was rotating to was through their spawn, back on the beach, everybody's at the site, retake. That was one of the first times we saw XSET actually start to push in and encroach onto Sentinels territory other than a site. That mid was worked really well there to start to dissect what Sentinels were trying to do on the retake. Great hold inside the site as well for BCJ and the rest of the squad. Def's ultimate is there, but Zoms has his Viper Pit as well on the side of Sentinels, so they can decide to shut down a site, and there it is at B, right off the rip.
We talked about it in the previous rounds. Just a hit a bit ahead of forecast, but it comes through. Meanwhile, for TENZ, he still has that op in his hands as he's holding down A, as it looks like that's exactly where XSET wants to move towards. They haven't fully committed. So again, that wall gives off the illusion that you're going to want to work double doors. Def is posted up just on the other side. But when you've got B locked down with the Viper's Pit like that, you don't really have to commit the other way.
I love how they're forced into this line of mollies over here by KJ that Dapper has set up right after the alarm bot. So you're a little deterred, but you still want to make the entry. Looks like they get the mollies out. They're good to go on this as those are triggered and they don't take too much damage. But the shots here from Def to BCJ to return the favor.
And the neural theft to let them know that the 2 remaining members of Sentinels are nowhere near the site. Now they're going to start creeping their way forward, as it looks like they're going to work towards door. Remember, Sick has a chance at something, just waiting for Zoms to get into a decent spot. Numbers advantage heavily in favor of XSET as Zom works his way forward. Sick already good on to 1. Nice little 1-2. Def, great spot to clean one up, but that's going to leave Zoms alone. Zoms in a 1v2. The turret giving his position away. He's got to clean that up. He's not going to find any way forward. Aaron swings at just the right time to get the round win for XSET.
Grabbing a few back, or we're going to see a little deja vu 8-4 here, maybe, that we got on to Haven for our first round. Sentinels looking clean with the rounds they are grabbing, though. And those on top, more Blade Storms from TENZ. Sick fragging out here, whether he's on that Phoenix or right onto that Sky. We see him playing amazing right now for Sentinels. 7-3 as we make our way into round 11. And they do have the ultimate for Aaron, so they can decide to throw the lockdown somewhere in between. And it's something I'd love to see here. Is KJ is great for the site hold, but you're always like, where do I ult? It's usually to break the rotation and how the defending team is going to go from site to site.
Well, the sites are just so dang big, you don't really get to cover all of it with something like a lockdown. Yeah. Slight difference. We've got the op still in the hands of Pure. We talked about the lockdown. There it is, and it's controlling pivot points, like you were just saying. ECJ working forward. They're going to invest the Seekers as well. So TENZ trying to blast through the smoke, or through the wall, excuse me. Not going to get anything going. Now they're going to work their way in. Dapper, good for one. Zom's got one as well as Dapper continues to encroach forward. Members of Sentinels will follow. Aaron is already backing off. BCJ and Pure are looking to do the same, but they're a bit stuck, right? Like, because of where they are on the map, they can't easily work their way out. They're kind of stuck here, Pure. Making things a bit easier as he gets a shot onto Sick.
And you can see how patient Sentinels are right now. Still have one on the B rotation. Feel like they're covered fine on the site. Nothing that XSET is doing is putting too much pressure on Sentinels right now with how they've set up this defense. Good rotation over from Zoms to start calling info in the site. The 1v1 for BCJ and TENZ comes up big.
The timing, he just happened to be jumping up at that exact moment as Tank swings around, leaving Pure alone in a 1v4. He's got the op, he's got the Blade Storm, but that might be all he has to his name. A pretty brutal spot, but the thing is, Pure had some magic to him yesterday in these moments, not going to be able to deliver this time around. So Sentinels get to 8. You talked about a little deja vu. XSET still have a chance to equalize that, but Sentinels look very good this half.
Stringing together the momentum, understanding to control is what XSET's going to try to do to control that middle part of the map. Sentinels is usually moving as a group otherwise. Besides the one person lurking, whether that's Sick or we just saw Zoms, they rotate as a retake. So the ultimate going off in the middle of the map has not been throwing them for too much of a loop. They're all going to be coming from spawn anyways, and otherwise door as they do it together. So not too much of a spread you'll find from Sentinels being affected by the lockdowns coming in. They seem to know their way around it. Round 12 here. Last one of our first half. Can XSET put that padding on for second half here?
So Sick invested the Seekers at the beginning of the round, cleared out a couple of members, and he gets the kill onto Pure. So it's big control established already. Zoms looking to return to the scene of the crime a couple of rounds ago. Shazam getting the best onto Def here, and for XSET, my gosh, they just haven't really been able to move around much at all. They haven't had the freedom to breathe.
Yeah, TENZ already behind him, whispering in their ear, sweet nothings with that Phantom as they all, oh my word, the guiding lights come out and just send everyone into a bit of chaos there. Dapper picks that one up 9-3, a bit of a statement half here on Breeze coming in from Sentinels, and they're probably feeling much better about this now than map 1 on Haven.
Much better, and I think as good of a start as that was, I think we've seen XSET certainly capable of making some magic of their own happen. So we'll see how they fare on the defensive side. But for Sentinels, really, the first half was all, I mean, it was this, right? It was this.
Just the pause. It's the weirdest thing. I think that's great, right? The pause in shooting, but knowing the patience and training that takes. That's why Zoms is picking up those multi-kills all the time. Good stuff to see for Sentinels. It's definitely put him on track here to get a win on map 2. Just quick info shot out to start this one off. We will have that KJ hold on A as it rotates over towards hallway. Most of the utility towards B, I should say.
Sick has already taken elbow control, but you see Def and Zek and Wise to it. Yep, Sick gets cleaned up. Now the Spike has to reconsider things. Dapper has taken some space as well across the middle of the map, but that's about it for now.
Cat and mouse. Just missing each other's angles. This works for Dapper, though. Dapper, the 1v1 coming through. This could be big, and it's going to be Aaron with the model just a little bit farther from that angle to finalize the kill.
Def onto one as well. I mean, it almost like a mirror performance to what we saw in the pistol in the previous half, right? Where it was Sentinels who walked away with a flawless round. XSET looking to do the same. It's been crispy shots across the board that have gotten them to this point, and they just continue to pile on. Def gets the third. Sentinels just down to TENZ. Oftentimes is plenty.
30 seconds
TENZ
left.
gets to 2. He's got to go. He's got 60 health.
Just a beautiful snap aim.
Yep. Doesn't have the spike. He's such a big dang map. You got to traverse with 13 seconds left. It seems like a pretty impossible situation. So, great start to the second half from XSET, and yep, it is going to get cleaned up. Def padding the stats as he gets to 4.
Good kills, frags all around, and I'm surprised they didn't kind of run from him there to mess him with the money. But they do give him the frag. Def puts him out of his misery for a quick 4K. And great movement by him. A lot of the utility was over towards B. You then saw the rotation coming in as they moved Aaron over towards A there. So really smart play with the utility, but leaving people just off the ball so you can work a variety of strategies to defend. Let's see how they do it this time. Sentinels staying back, but the Marshals are out. We'll see if they can get some long-range shots here to start.
Pura has one of his own as well. Sheriff in the hands of Sick. Not connecting onto anything quite yet. So you see there's a good bit of util from Killjoy on A, and you've got Pure with the Marshal ensuring that nobody works their way in through Cage, while Def works elbows. So this is a great start to control from XSET, but Sentinels with an even better start and already getting that Marshal offline.
This is actually pretty terrifying. I feel like Sentinels enjoy this, or at least TENZ does. He's like, oh yeah, long range. I get to basically op early. I have the Marshal though, and these rounds for him, the whole team just kind of moving up here. Feel pretty confident for the side of Sentinels. He destroyed that trap as they're going to find BCJ on the right.
All of the util comes up. He's been flashed, but manages to stay alive. You've got Def moving in for a nice pinch as well, but it's going to be a big kill on the Sick if he's able to get it. Doesn't understand. Is literally right under his nose. Is he going to check it? No, he's going to drop right in front of him.
Oh my
Sick
God.
lands the shots. Aaron looking to give him back. And yes, he trades that out. Zombs with 1 health gets cleaned up at the hands of BCJ. A 3v3 here as Aaron continues to creep his way forward, make that a 3v2. Looking to equalize things even more. The Ghost does the damage, looking for the last, line him up and knock him down. Aaron gets a 4, XSET get to 5.
What's up with the Sentinel 4Ks coming in here? Oh my word. Pulling rabbits out of their hats, making it work. Beautifully done by XSET to get back on that round. Sentinels trying to squeeze through another round with those Marshals, but XSET said, no, we're going to make you pay a little bit more econ than that to get these round wins. And wow, Aaron coming up here. As soon as he was able to duck under that shot from TENZ, the Ghost did the rest of the work. 9-5 here, as we see a few rounds coming in for XSET to start things off.
Aaron and Def both 1 point away from having their ultimates online, and this is really where we see this composition shine, right? With the Killjoy and a Cypher defense side of Breeze, you just have so much control. Look at how Def has already moved his way up. Gonna spot Aaron. Oh my gosh. He spotted Shazam, and I think he spotted Dapper's shoulder as well. But they're working their way up. Yeah, they're working their way up. Def went around. Zombs was able to clean him up. TENZ with the dash to reestablish control of the middle of the map for Sentinels.
This is what I said before, the Sentinels love taking space that is free right away. Think of Sentinels on Ascent. They're either right up on these orbs, they're up in mid, they're up on B to start off with information here. Elbow, again, as we would expect, cover mid, take one down, and then start to rotate. This is kind of what XSET did as they played versus Sentinels on Haven in our previous map, is where you wait for that initial angle hold to be broken, get your numbers in advantage, and then you make your hit. Little watch here in mid from Dapper as it looks like it's going to be finalized A.
Yep, and they're controlling. Again, you see the value because flanking is so prevalent. My gosh. Prevalent on this map. You've got to control double doors, and that's exactly where he is. Sentinels have gotten onto A.
Spike down.
Aaron good for 1. He's got the lockdown as well, so he can really make some magic happen. He's already got the kill onto Shazam. TENZ cleaning him up. Ooh, leaving BCJ alone. He's got a Bulldog. And he has some armor. Just doesn't have much else. He doesn't really have util. He does have the element of surprise, but it's going to be given away, right?
Knock, knock.
So much for that. Great shot, though, on Zombs to get things down to a 1v2. BCJ, how much more magic do you have in you, BCJ? Good for 1, but 10 swings at the right moment to get 3 and the round win for Sentinels. Boy, that was scary.
Little touch and go. Find it kind of scary. You are correct. Especially with the 1v1 find. And if that was a flick, that was 57 HP on TENZ after his final firefights in the end of the round there. So, see, he was feeling it. He peeked out right at that time of contact to make sure it was their round. 3K for TENZ. That means he is stacking up. I mean, he is on the Blade Storm, so we might get that this round as we see the buys, the classic for him. And we're still ticking down. So Blade Storm usage here. Ares for Dapper. I think he's going to start ripping out the ammo drum.
Flash coming out. There's that Blade Storm. Not going to be impactful this time around. For Sentinels, they've taken elbow control. They're working away up the middle of the map as they like to. You've got that alarm bot there from Aaron that should be going off here in just a moment. The Viper util as well. And look at how they're rotating. They can this is like, they understand where the hit's going to go. They feel the pressure working mid. Yep.
Wet paint. This is hot. Put a sign on it. Do not touch. Oh, so wall drops. Let's see who actually has the confidence to peek first on that right side. BCJ and Shazam just on the other side of a corner over at B. Looks like Shazam may give up or call for Zombs to make this hit happen. Rotation from Sentinels, for XSET is somewhat calling this as they're stacking over towards B, but the Spike alone in mid right now. Dapper's on a mission.
Def has not left A, so he's in a great spot. Oh, we get a chance at something. There it is. The judge delivers. BCJ got messed up for it and continues to do so. Great shot from Pure onto Sick as well to control that flank. So now, all of a sudden, you see Sentinels' resources and their numbers dwindle very quickly as it's a heavy advantage in favor of XSET. It continues to go that way. Dapper's alone in a 1v4. Make that a 1v3. You can feel his Spidey senses tingling, having to check every single corner. 10 health, and a dream was all he had as Pure delivers the op shot to clean up the round for XSET.
Dapper got hit by the alarm bot that Sick noted. What? In the beginning of the round, he's like, right here. Make sure you don't hit this. And then they ran into it. A lot of things happening during these rounds, and the slight things that could be an advantage are falling away here as XSET start to pick up a few more for themselves. Or one, I should say here. Not really stringing them together just yet. And quite a few ults here on the side of Sentinels means maybe a little bit of slow play to see what the Seekers can tell them before they do take a site.
Yeah, but look, I mean, BCJ, 1 point from the Viper's pit, second 1 point away from the Seekers as well, so you feel that's certainly going to help things, as Pure is now 1 point away from having the Blade Storm online as well. All of the utility coming together at just the right time. There's the Blade Storm, and the Spike is down. Aaron's going to get one as well. Leaving Shazam and Dapper alone. Love that play off of the turret, man. That's pretty.
As a KJ player, you feel really bad when you do it, but you also feel really good because it's such a cheeky little thing to do. Always letting your turret peek first, you peek right over it. You make the magic happen. Here we go, Pure for one more, down the gut. And Dapper, he falls in hallway. 3 set for Pure there as he gets himself Blade Storm. Save that round, I should say. And his XSET's looking good here. They did take map 1. They're creeping up on Sentinels, who currently I don't have the quick strats they were using that got through XSET's defense on Haven. It's a lot harder to play a quick strat here on the side of Breeze since everything's 100 yards to buy a spike plant. But that's really what was able to favor Sentinels when they didn't give XSET a chance to call that mid-round audible. Their adaptation mid-round has really been what one of their main strengths to everything in this VCT challenge.
Heavy investment of ultimates. The Seekers have been used. The lockdown's going to be used in kind. As Aaron looking to go aggressive. Yes, Aaron good onto one as well. Second lockdown has been used to counter. As the Spike is just playing on the fringe of that. You see it in the pockets of Shazam. 2 players have been detained, but will they aggressively take it? Will they look for it? Pure missing the shot.
Ooh, they're baiting for him.
Challenge. Oh, Pure gets cleaned up. Sick, just trying to dance around, get control of the site. Zekin just narrowly stays alive long enough to land the shots. Oh my gosh, I think he dinked him too, but no, Dapper swings on him, gives him the business and dismisses him through all of that chaos. It's just BCJ who isn't around for long. An excellent round run from Sentinels from stop the bleed to stop the bleeding. XSET had won 4 of the last 5, if I'm not mistaken. Things were looking really good. A great response from Sentinels.
Sentinels needed that one as well because it seemed to have thrown XSET for a loop in what they wanted to bait, what they wanted to do, right? Pure got taken off. Zekin wasn't able to do what he wanted from the corner. And for Sentinels, for any team looking to take your opponent down, you need those rounds that gets your opponents a little bit flustered and see if they can continue that play. Let's see if XSET are at all flustered about what's been happening here as they creep back into this game. They do seem to have their heads on straight as Trailblazer is going to find one inside sight.
And again, man, like you see how difficult it is to work through a composition that has a Viper, a Cypher, and a Killjoy. Now you've got the Viper Spit coming through out of BCJ to deny entry into A, but it looks like they're going to push it anyway. This is actually... It seems like North American brand to see a Viper Spit and just like to full send into it, not concerned about what's on the other side. They tank it to fight for control, but this time Sentinels rotating away. See, Riv, and so this is what's super interesting because oftentimes you'll see teams aggressively take space away that's available, like we saw from Sentinels previously.
Yeah.
This time, they invested a lot towards A, and we haven't seen Def take anything else, right? He didn't work through elbow. He didn't work through mid. They still have all of that room for Sentinels to work with.
This is still a guessing game for Sentinels. How far is someone pushed up? All retake territory. Six says thank you as Def is in his camera. I think he just backed out of it and maybe wasn't ready for this that instant. But that is a quick pickup from Sick. He's been opening up these rounds huge for the side of Sentinels, coming through his TENZ once again through this Viper smoke, and they will go right back towards that A site.
Sick is going to get the spike down as well. They pulled the string on him so well to get that kill onto Def to make it look like it was going B. You had two members rotating back towards B through defender spawn, and they worked their way right back in through double door where it was just BCJ who was standing there. So Sentinels take full control of the site. Sick gets cleaned up as well. Pure trying to save the op, but Sentinels smell blood in the water, and man, they're going hunting.
I love the Sick moonwalk flash there. It comes out reverse on his own flash. Pure picks up one, though. Almost a second one, and Zombs with the eagle eye tap. Takes down Pure. He's like, I love these angles. This is exactly where I play on defense. And that's one of the things. You always see the site someone plays, and while they switch, and the team will add a little bit of variety. A player always seems so much more comfortable in playing the angles of the site they usually defend. And seeing that. And when they come back to it, you're just like, yep, knows exactly what to be looking for. Zombs doing it once again, making those frags happen for Sentinels. 12-7 as Sentinels look to lock in map 2 here.
Map point, and they were working heavily towards A, right? Like it's a full stack. They're going to follow the Trailblazer. Shazam is 1 point away from getting 100 Sphere online, and that's exactly what it looks like they want to do. TENZ gets cleaned up, but Zombs trades it out. There's the 100 Fury in his pockets. Pure with the Blade Storm is going to have to make some magic happen. Nope, he drops. Aaron gets one back, though. And the spike is still not on the site. The 100 Fury is going to come out from Shazam, and that's going to be entry, but Sick with a couple of filthy shots to open up the site to get Sentinels the win. 13-7 on Breeze. We're cutting to a break. When we return, we'll break the map down. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Championship Sunday in North America. I'm Doug. With me is my main squeeze, Riv. Map 2, goes in favor of Sentinels, tying the series up at 1-1. Let's take a look at a couple of the replays to see how things went down. Riv, it was an excellent performance from Sentinels across the board.
It was. There were a lot of 4Ks coming in on this one, too. Zombs over here. We saw quite a few frags coming out of him at B. He feels so comfortable in that long-range position, just playing around the tower, making things happen. Speak of the devil, putting down.
And it was just stuff like that. I think one of the key things that was interesting to see was the difference in how these two teams approached the defensive half, right? For Sentinels, the narrative the entire time was, look at how much space they take away, because they did, right? They like playing aggressively. They like to deny vision. They like to deny real estate. For XSET, defensively, they were a bit more comfortable playing back, right? And like staying true to what they were trying to hold down. Unfortunately, didn't pan out for them. So a pretty convincing win for Sentinels, but that means that we're headed over to Icebox. Riv, we mentioned in the break that Icebox looks pretty good for Sentinels. Break down a bit of why.
Sentinels being able to work all those angles, having TENZ have different entry than Sick in elevation is something they've always worked so well on. And this does become one of those focus to operator maps. So the econ game, well, it always does, is going to have a much greater effect here. I think we saw on Haven, Sentinels was not able to get a hold of that econ game. We saw TENZ with an op very few times and Bladestorm very few times because they weren't able to get it in there. So as soon as Sentinels takes hold of that, they get the op, they start working it. And I believe that this is one of those maps where Shazam could really utilize the information grabbing with the solo play.
Yeah, Shazam will certainly be a player to watch. We're also going to take a look at the maps one more time. Again, to take stock of where we were and understand where we are headed. We've already got 2 maps in the books, right? Haven was a close one. It was a lot of fun. It was selected by Sentinels, but went in favor of XSET 13-9, and then we turned our attention over to Breeze, where it was 13-7 in favor of Sentinels. Now we're heading over to Icebox. This was Sentinels' pick, obviously. We talked about how this Sentinels is very comfortable on this map, but from a record perspective, XSET's pretty damn good on it as well, right? A 5-2 record throughout this tournament. They're very comfortable on it. It's their most played map in this stage. So what are you expecting to see from XSET?
Adaptation in mid-round. I think the team that can do that the best on Icebox is absolutely going to be able to take the advantage, because you can think about hitting sites fast. You always get a retake because you're never going to get, unless it's a counter, a full 5 at that site, and it's hard to rotate all the way across Icebox. So I think kind of seeing in that instance of XSET being able to control the game with what happens mid-round, throw Sentinels off on Haven, just like they did with a few frags, find out where Sick is pushing, where that information intel push is coming from. And XSET, I think, can dismantle Sentinels once again, as they did on Haven. It's anybody's game, though. Seeing this series go the way it has already has me really excited. I'm glad it's just not going to be a 3-0 for anybody.
Right, and there's a very good chance it extends the distance. I think while we mentioned Sentinels being very comfortable here, we also talked about how XSET has their own niche carved out on this map, at least for the tournament, so it should be a lot of fun to watch. I think one of the players we have to keep an eye on is BCJ. Again, doesn't always like flash out, right? Like, he's not the flashy duelist, but like, dude, the high impact kills, the multi-kills that he gets, BCJ's just been so consistent for XSET.
And it's not one of their duelists. It's not somebody that's putting themselves out in danger. It's kind of, to boot, there's another frag, a bag of chips, grab this, and they, again, dismantle the way that Sentinels plays. And I think that as well had a lot of effect on the first map, is that everybody on XSET was kind of playing at that level, and Sentinels had not yet found it. Now we get a little bit of Sick, we get a little bit of Zombs, the dice is getting rolled there as we get more operators in. We saw Shazam as well, picking up some good frags. So both teams online as we get into map 3. Let's see how hard it heads now.
Yeah, I think the other person that we've really got to talk about looking at Icebox is TENZ, right? Like, TENZ has historically had Icebox been his playground. Like, he has had historic after historic play on this map. There's no reason to think that this series will be any different. Folks, we're going to cut to a break. When we return, Icebox. Stay tuned.
Let's go. Let's go.
Thank you so much, friends, for sticking with us through the break. We're back, and we're already into Agent Select Map 3 in this Best of 5 Grand Finals, going over to Icebox. As you see, for XSET, we've got a couple of those agent selections already coming through. One slight difference, we're already seeing Zekin previously played Raze against Sentinels on Icebox. This time, going for the Feast or Famine Reyna.
TENZ Raze, there it is. See if he can add some complete destruction to the map, as Raze does. Shazam on that chat, as we were going to be looking for the operators to come out. A lot of the Viper Poison Clouds going straight to that operator spot on A will slow down the rounds a little bit, but I think the initial strategy of each team, drones up mid, figure out what the movement is, Viper walls and Sage over towards B, as it has just become that meta. But it's the post plan on B, it has slightly been changing, and how teams like to either leave somebody on yellow, pile everybody back in, start taking a bit of that middle channel between both long B and mid, and there's still, I think, a big variation of how that area is played, just beyond the ice wall down, Viper wall down. Now we're in here for post plan.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. Very quickly, worth touching on, they played Icebox in the best of 3 that they played a couple of days ago. This one went in favor of Sentinels, but it was a close one. It was 13-11. Both teams rattled off an obscene amount of rounds at one time. Sentinels opened the half.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, 9 rounds in a row, so it should be a good one. This time, Sentinels starting off on the attack. We'll see what they can make happen. No cheeky buys quite yet, just really ghosts and a bit of utility across the board. A couple of sheriffs. Sentinels looking to test the waters, B.
For Zoms, he's just putting up a late wall, so no indicator of Zom's wall to start, right? He's looking at possible angle, watching mid too, but even XSET pinged out what Zom's wall could be coming across that B area, so they might be a little bit thrown off. They're going to hold that wall. Looks like it may be what cuts off screens here as they make their way to A. Now look for what elevation is changed and who starts to get up higher. If they all stay on the floor, it becomes a bit tougher, and that's TENZ going down right away as they walk it into A.
Zekin already starting off with Arena in perfect fashion as he dismisses. You see some of the prowess that she's able to bring to a map like this, but Sentinels still managed to take the site. Slightly tattered, slightly battered as they've dropped one, but they've managed to take control. Now, it's going to be on XSET to retake. They're in a decent spot, but they're starting to drop both Zekin and Def, excuse me. Have lost their lives along with Pure. Sentinels just like zero regard for what's in front of them, but XSET looking to do a bit of the same as it's just down to one. Sick. In a 1v1 against Aaron, 25 health. He's starting to heal himself up a bit as Spike continues to tick away. He understands where he is. Aaron goes aggressive, and Sick rips him right back down. A 4K to start the map.
Both Sick and Aaron. Oh my word. These two have been popping off throughout this entire series. Can't stop Sick though, whether he's on a Sky, whether he's on a Phoenix, or now on the Battle Sage. This guy does it all. cleans up that round. Nicely done. And it was chaos, too. XSET's idea to get back in was full charge. They were hopping around corners, triple bursting, and making sure they could spread a little cheese on them classic shots. So really nicely done to make that round work in Sentinel's favor. Sick comes up big once again, and that means res and a little bit more money for Sage Utility on the board. Oh, Sick.
They've been had.
Oh, Sick.
They've been had. You saw them dial a pretty heavy aggression down B long, but the drone actually comes around Viper Wall at just the right time to spot where that was coming in, and that's going to drop Def instantly. Pierre's going to fall as well. It didn't look like it was much of a buy-up from XSET, but a great read from Sentinels.
Long walk, or watch, I should say, all the way on the backside of A. TENZ has this on lockdown, and they are just looking for Ayer in right now. He says, I'm okay hanging out here. Playing a little trickery with his gas wall. Oh! That timing almost catches a bunch of paint shells. Now it's going to be the hunt. Who gets him first? It's going to be TENZ. Picks up that headshot with the Spectre. A flawless on the eco cleanup as well. We talked about how much it means for TENZ to be grabbing quite a few of those kills to make sure that ultimate is stacked early. Here on Ray, it means the same as on the Jet.
Yes, indeed. XSET now going to have better weapons, presumably. Yeah, there we go. Rifles, armor, a little bit of everything here. Not fully being able to bring in full utility, but they are bringing in a good bit. Meanwhile, for Sentinels, a flawless round means they're going to be able to ride this bonus. Well, Sick bought up a little bit, but it should be sitting pretty financially here. You see the wall coming up from Def to deny entry through Tube as Sentinels work their way towards B.
Yeah, kitchen off limits right now. No cooks today. A little rotation out of mid by Zombs as he makes sure nobody's doing anything tricky. Fast plant with the walls going down here, coming in from Sentinels. And they're looking, oh my word, BCJ at the last moment, Doug.
ECJ has already denied the spike, now second starting to rotate over right into the spam, but the wall is there to deny any sort of shenanigans, but it comes down. TENZ is dropped, the spike did fall. As Aaron's creeping his way around yellow. See this wall goes down, and Shazam drops shortly thereafter. They take the fight to Sentinels, and they pick them apart. It's just Zombs, who's slowly making his way around, but his position's been had. BCJ gets 4. The guy continues to terrorize in this best of 5 as XSET get on the board. And Hunter's Fury online now.
This is why B is such a scary site to take, because the moment you're stopped for a half a second, another second, everything's out of whack. And we saw as soon as this Sage Wall went down at BCJ, just what a spam frag there through the box. Beautifully done. It's like XSET was completely ready. Look at this, a family photo for anybody that looks from long B to try and peek.
Yep.
And that'll get sent off. 2-1, XSET find a round for themselves, and that was pure aggression on the retake.
It was pretty to watch. It was a freaking mob death ball rolling their way towards Sentinels. But now XSET, I mean, they've got the Hunter's Fury, like we said, in the pocket to BCJ. Sick has the res as well. Much more of a precautious look, really, from both squads. Oh my gosh, what a pick from Shazam early on.
Operator or not, Shazam's looking for those long shots. Looks like the wall's coming through now. Paint shells to the right side of A, and it looks like Pure is going to have to back off here, but he doesn't get the chance. Dom's up high, able to take him down, and across the rope they go. Inside A site, BCJ trying to hold down what he can for a little bit of help.
Yeah, you see Aaron has shown up, but it's a 2v5. Make that a 1v4. 1v3. Not able to get the third. It looked close. It looked dicey, but he wasn't able to land the shot, so Sentinels take a 2-round lead. Just making sure that last player was dead, because you can never be too sure. An excellent start from Sentinels to start off Icebox.
Yep. We can kind of see the same thing in reverse now that the tables have turned for a new map. Sentinels are doing the same thing to XSET that happened to TENZ that we saw in Haven. TENZ continues, like I said, he is catching some unlucky shots, and those were always when he had ult or wasn't getting ult, and now they're denying Pure the stack on those ults. He is not getting enough frags. They're shutting him down, and it does become a detriment if you don't have those Blade Storms coming up to help control the game and economy. Not necessary, but we will keep an eye on that throughout the match as we did in Haven. Round 5 here, Doug. And it's both bit of guns, eco buy here for XSET, for Sentinels weapons.
Last time Shazam was in this position, delivered a green, crispy shot onto Zekin, almost did it again. But was able to dash away to safety as Zekin got away unscathed as well. So for Sentinels here, they tested the waters, try to get that early pick, and this has really been their approach on the attacking half so far, right? Like, we're going to poke things out, we're going to feel out what the defenses of XSET look like, and then they're going to bust a move. You've got BCJ still holding that ult. He's also about to get a good bit of info with that drone. Then they'll make a play from there. You see the pings coming out, man. They're heavy stacking towards A.
Is this a fake? Is this a wall fake? Because Spike is with Shazam. Okay, so they're actually going to keep pressuring. Oh, he is walking right on the coattails of BCJ right now. The turn towards Kitchen. Oh, BCJ just swings and finds Sick after a game of cat and mouse.
All right, here comes the Spike, and there's the Hunter's Fury exactly at the right time, and he tagged up the player he was looking for, tagged a second. Not able to land the kills, but a decent amount of damage has been done. Now Zom's looking to get the Spike down. 10 seconds left, just in the nick of time. Manages to extend the round. TENZ gets messed up on the other hands of a judge, and Dapper might be in some trouble too. No, definitely needs to turn around. He's not able to land the shot. Aaron does, however, clean that up. Shazam falls shortly thereafter. XSET get to 2.
Whoa. And what a round of patience we saw from Sentinels there. It looked like Sick was going to do so much damage, and BCJ once again turns the play on its head, and that just started to tear everything apart. We know what happens as soon as the B strat goes awry. It usually unfolds even worse for the team attacking. A good round there for XSET as they look to pull it to 3-3. It looks like we will not get a lead in rounds too big here as we did on their first meeting of Icebox. And this one, much more even. Down to guns all around. Actually, we're over on Dapper with a Sheriff. It looks like he'll hang out there and maybe focus on Alt Orb for this round for himself.
Meanwhile, you've got Showstopper in TENZ's pocket. So, okay, so the Viper's pick coming out right off the bat should deny entry towards A, but they don't have tube control. They don't have kitchen control. So the middle of the map is not well established, and there's a good bit of room to work towards B. So, Sentinels can really, they can feel this out. They've got a lot of options to work with here.
No, it's interesting. No KJ, no Cypher. Everything requires so much watching of the flank or position retaking if you've left an area for a while. It definitely slows rounds down, and it allows you to see what a team's intentions are based on numbers and where they are, right? Always having somebody on the flank. A mix and match now of utility to the right. Sova's utility considered a little bit more of a take. So now they're heading towards B on the side of Sentinels to use that Sova utility as a fake.
Yeah, and they've got they've got a recon dart as well too from Dapper, so they can make some work happen there. But yeah, the Spike is over towards B. The dash comes through. BCJ stuffs it right off the bat. Here comes the Showstopper though. TENZ buying so much space. The res comes through to deny, but Def's in a great spot. Def not able to get anything other than the first. As BCJ and Def both drop, Sick gets control of sight for Sentinels, and the Spike goes down. Zekin not going to be able to do anything either as Pure and Aaron are left alone. They're starting to rotate over, and they're going to be able to come in from different fronts, which is ideal. You're walking into a 2v4.
Really great traded positions here and how Sentinels was setting up this round. Throw off XSET. Zoms already on the backside for 2, but Pura stops him just for 1. And now he's going to be trying to save this Phantom. The rotation of when we saw Dapper join Zoms and then somebody else rotate over to B. I love seeing rotations like that. You're keeping your numbers stacked on the sides. You're not just saying, hey, yeah, 4 over here, 1 can fake. They're selling a fake. Sentinels knew exactly what they were doing. They've been using this round time really well on the ones they just capitalize and make XSET look like they've been running around.
Absolutely agree with you, Riv. And again, it was like a great look. The investment of ultimates and the trades there were just beautiful to really open up the site. And again, it was on Zekin there to make something happen, but just wasn't able to. So it's going to be a lighter buy. Previously, it was Dapper, I believe, who was on the Sheriff. This time it's Zoms. Oh, who is going to be able to buy up as well? Okay, so full rifles across the board, slightly lighter armor for Zoms, and meanwhile, full strength on the side of XSET. You're seeing some of those pinks come out. They're trying to invest that Viper util to control B long. And Shazam being spotted there isn't going to be the one to draw early blood, but TENZ is.
Just feeling the reads this far into the round, knowing that, you know, rifles are up, forward positions are going to be checked at high or low elevation for the A site. A nice read there as they start off the round with a kill onto Def and Pure. TENZ again onto Zekin.
And it's
He
bait,
is
man.
just on fire now. Can he finish another one? Paint shells out as he gets pulled back and reads
Yeah.
the play onto BCJ.
Yeah, man, they've got to send a firing squad to take care of TENZ. Meanwhile, the play's on the opposite side of the map. As soon as that first pick came through, you saw, who was that? Excuse me, it was Sick, who had already gotten onto B, who had already put the wall up, and the spike
Right.
wasn't there, but they knew where the play wanted to go. But there's just so much attention that's demanded by TENZ on that site that they invest everything to try to take care of him, just to find out that that's never where the situation was going down. Aaron's good for 1 and 2. But he's got nothing more than 6 health, and that was that. So, I mean, a beautiful round from Sentinels. They played the rotations well. TENZ was enough of a nuisance to cause problems for XSET to get them to 5.
A 4K for TENZ on that. These opening shots right here is just understanding your opponents, what they might want to do. I'm sure there hasn't been a precedent set that somebody's peaked at every time, but you can feel the ebb and the flow in the game, and on the next gun round, your opponents may want to set up aggressively. TENZ working very, very well around that mindset right now to keep the team in the lead. But along with everybody else, Viper's Pit up, Hunter's Fury is up. Quite a bit of plant agency right now if they can get the spike to the side on the side of Sentinels. Oh, TENZ. Just first bloods everywhere today.
Yeah, and you know, a couple of rounds ago it was Shazam, and again this time it was TENZ, but the results are the same. And
Yep.
you even saw XSET, they aggressively they tried to take some aggressive space, right? Understanding that it's a lighter buy for them, little high, like low risk, high reward if they're able to catch Sentinels off guard. But even with that aggressive dial up coming out from Zekin to take that space away past 410, there just wasn't really a way to get past Sentinels, right? Like, you can deny some space, but if you're not going to get past Sentinels, it's not going to matter. And it's only going to... Oh, no. Oh, not like this.
Okay. Pour one out. We're all right. Here we are, right in between. Zoms drops BCJ and Pure to end the round. A flawless round and a sharpening of the blade, as it were, to end that one out. Here we go into round 9. TENZ and Sick. Yeah, it looks like TENZ woke up a little bit from Haven. He is now feeling it and taking control of the game as we would expect. And like I said, TENZ absolutely, I wouldn't say this like personally, no, but watching him play, it seems like he loves Icebox, being able to mess with the elevations and just have a bunch of different angles to play on when he is in those situations of 1v1, 1v2s.
Gotta keep an eye on Pure with the op, and we're seeing, right, like a little bit more firepower brought to those early aggressive peaks on duels. You still got Shazam up there, and you still got TENZ up there, but what they don't know is that there's an op on the other side. Will that be the difference maker? Aaron's already been tagged up. Zoms has been had. His position has been had. We're already seeing some of that op pull off. Zekin tries to dial up a bit of a different aggressive look. He gets cleaned up as the middle of the map is not available for XSET.
In Zoms, the wall has not been thrown early. Only when they need it. Only when they need it. It's not even a fake strat for them right now to say, oh, it'll go to B and maybe we won't use it because we can put up the gas wall later. It has just not been used. So we're seeing that be completely held here. Also giving no information to XSET on how it might want to be used. Just that poison orb in mid. And there's the res on the BCJ to reset things a little bit here at 4v4. Got sketchy for a moment.
He's back, but he's back with 13 health.
Yeah.
Not a ton to work with. We'll see if Pure is able to make that op sing. No, a narrow miss. He's going to dash away, but they don't expect Def. Def going on to 1, and TENZ gets ripped down as well. Shazam, though, looking to equalize things. Pure still has that op in his hands. What a shot. They even gave him the shoulder peek, the jiggle, but it didn't matter. Shazam's going to get cleaned up. Excellent response from XSET to get them to 3.
Nicely done. Not overcommitting too much after they lost the few in tube. They knew the attackers always have to come to your side of the map. Wait it out, play the angles, and Def nicely pushed up to make sure that happens. Def's position as well, being able to push up like that, while scary. We're always talking about how people can get up for more audio cues. Hearing slight things or rotations around that will help them do that from his position there where he was on pipes in A. I should say under pipes. Round 10, Doug. It's the operator here, and we'll see if we can get a big frag out of Pure.
Slightly different look from Sentinels here, right? Like, the story has been slow, default, feel things out, but look at how aggressively they've worked under tube. They're looking to fully send towards B. You've got Dapper, who's still playing back, and they've got him in a pinch. Dapper's in a great spot here. They've taken B. They've got the spike down. Dapper can be the one to blow this thing up if he's able to catch the 2 remaining members working their way around. Shazam's been spotted. Viper's pick coming through. They have full control of the site. The Hunter Fury's going to come out from BCJ. Tagged 1. Yeah, he gets the second Pure with the op, gets one as well, along with Aaron, as Sentinels just fall apart. It's just TENZ and Shazam that remain in this round. Second starts on the tab. Shazam good for 1. He's going to stick it. He's going to have to... No, he does pull off. TENZ with 33 health. In a 1v3, but no, there's just no easy way in, right? Like, there's no entry. Sentinels dialed up something aggressive, something different, and XSET stuffed it.
That looked like it was such a great strat from Sentinels, walking straight through, unscathed, just a wall to the right side to block anything that was happening. But I think that wall in itself alerted XSET to something very different. That's the first round that Sentinels have done that, and you have to realize your opponent is also going to act very differently. XSET hauled ass over to B. They made sure to start covering everything, and that was also one of the times that we saw Zoms use gas wall right off the bat. So a little bit different there, and Aaron will now set off Viper's Pit on A. Round 11, it's going to be a B.
Pure starting to feel himself with that op as he gets an early pick onto Sick. Shazam not able to replicate that success, at least quite yet. So we're back to where we started, right? We're back to a defaulty look, and that's almost necessary when you've got a Viper's Pit right off the bat. A great pick from Def to open things up as well. On to Dapper, but TENZ, TENZ isn't going to make anything happen either. So 5v2 very comfortably in favor of XSET. And XSET, while it didn't look pretty at first, Riv, they've clawed their way back into this thing.
Making it work. I mean, Sentinels is definitely making them work for it a lot. Zoms has been coming up with such good frags, being in a position to advance in mid or get a frag in mid and create pressure. But we talked about the no flanks earlier. You always have to be watching, or you have to be committing to what you're doing here. We see Shazam take a little bit of an advantage of that, but he's got his work cut out for him.
So looking to try to keep the op, and well, forget about keeping the op. If you can deliver some business over to Def, why not? Shazam's got the Blade Storm, but Pure's just waiting with an op on the other side as well. And with 17 seconds left, you've kind of got to commit to doing this. Pure has heard it. No, oh my gosh. Oh, that's pretty.
You think
Pure
he's made
wins
that
the
shot
round
before?
for XSET. Yeah, he might have had Spidey sense of tingling to understand where that was going to be.
Oh, yeah. One of the things I saw coming into this, Doug, was the no killjoy, no cipher. They aren't necessary, but it does mean that flank game has to be at 110%, or somebody's going to be around you. Both teams can do it to each other, so it's not like one has the benefit over the other. But we've seen a lot of flanks come in big and control these rounds. Almost 6-6 for your first half. Let's see if XSET can bring it to even. Holy moly, they're moving forward.
It's going to be fast from both, right? You've got the Bladestorm and the Showstopper, and you've got it in the hands of Pure, so they're both going in aggressive. Pure, Bladestorm winning the duel against Shazam. The res is going to come out, though, as they're going to double down on their efforts. TENZ with the Showstopper, not connecting on to anything as he gets ripped down from the skies as well, at the courtesy of Zek, and op still in hand of Pure, and the spike has not made its way past 410. There hasn't been a way in. Shazam's going to drop for the second time. As Zekin goes in aggressively. Pure up from the top rope, gets dropped at the hands of Sick. The wall goes up as Sick looks to get in a bit of elevation as well. As Zoms drops a 4v2 heavily in favor of XSET here. I say heavily now, 3v1. As Dapper's the last one standing. Dapper filthy shots. He's got 3 health, Riv, and that's all he's got. A 6-6 half. What a response.
The war charge for the last round of the first half. You love to see that clash happening on pipes. What an awesome round for both teams to stick in it there today. It came down to basically creating different angles or trying to figure out what your opponent wasn't looking at here. It seemed like XSET just had eyes on every angle after Sentinel started it off. And What a fantastic job across that first half. We're seeing the replays here. And 6-6 is one way to do it.
And again, remember, like, this wasn't an ideal start. Oh, man, this always feels so bad. It almost feels worse the second time you see it. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Like, it's an unpleasant reminder of what went down. Yeah, let me help you with that. But for now, XSET on the attack, turning all of their attention over towards B. They're going to have to work through the Viper util that Zoms has set up, and they seem to have no problems with it. Now, you've got Aaron who's going to be dropping his own, and that should be a telltale sign of where the hit's going.
1 wall, 2 wall. Remember, you do have TENZ retake with paint shells coming back into the site, so they have a better chance to clear what's yellow, what's it, long B. And it looks like everybody, no, 2-3. 3 long B, 2 on yellow. Let's see how they can defend this one with gas walls going up and down, Doug.
You got Aaron, who also still has 1 snake bite left. You see him playing back for a couple of post plants. Sick on the tap.
There's shells.
Yep, and Aaron has already used the snake bite as well, so you see that going in aggressive. You draw that out early on, and now the fight can ensue. Zoms waiting as the wall goes down, and hello, surprise! There are a couple members on the other side. BCJ and Zekin deal significant amount of damage as Zekin has already gotten 3. Dapper's left alone in this 1v2. A wall, keeping things at bay. Zekin gets to 4. XSET get to 7.
Shock dart to the heart. Died from a ghost. It's a nice try. That honestly, coming in there, Dapper almost had the 1v1 to make that happen, but the last pieces of wall, seeing that the paint shells go out with the gas wall up, I thought was a little odd, because that paint shell, those paint shells are supposed to push everybody out of the area they're holding. With the gas wall still up, that gave no free shots, so only doing a bit of damage there. The retake was under pressure, so it's not like you have years to wait to throw those paint shells, so no real error there, but just the way that worked was unfortunate. 7-6 here. Sick pushed up, is loving getting in these tight spots, but goes down quick on that one.
Hard and heavy hit towards B. You had the Marshall in the hands of Zoms. And while he's still alive, he hasn't been able to do much with it. Look at that, a full send. Pure's clip runs dry. Fortunately for him, Zekin was there to help things out. A 4v1 here. Zekin already has the Empress online in this half of 4K for him, as it's just been 4Ks, 3Ks aplenty in this best of 5.
All right, XSET feeling good on the eco. They go through, and you're right. There have been quite a few 4Ks, 3Ks coming out of these players throughout this series. And it definitely makes the ult game a little more fun when the orbs are coming in excess for some people. Right now, the Empress there for Zekin could make some plays if they want to keep this controlled, but it's going to be no bonus. Again, we see BCJ just going for the, more utility along with the Sheriff, and maybe making sure somebody else can have a bite down the line.
Yeah. What a good teammate.
Yeah, making drops. You're going to be broke a bit. You stay back, you give the intel. So they won the last round they did this, so let's see.
It's true. Aaron has put up the wall, so you hear the Empress coming online as well. The Lear's going to come out. TENZ should have a great idea of where it is. He had the elevation. Shazam gets the kill onto Pure as well. And using Roomba. Aaron swings around. Wow! Perfect play from Aaron to play around that utility and get the kill. Dapper still in the back of the site, though, and they have a good idea of where he is. Dapper cleans it up. Shazam follows as well. Sentinels take that round away. It was a bonus from XSET, but it was a pretty round from Sentinels nonetheless.
What a cheeky little round. I love that push by Aaron. Also, Boombot? Question mark? What are you looking at? TENZ there getting thrown off guard, but really great recuperate there by Sentinels to make sure that site was not even taken. See what happens here. That was the save off, like we said, eco for XSET, as BCJ held a bit of that cash to make sure utility was a priority in their beginning rounds. Now, alt points, nobody really on deck here. Shazam is quite close along with Dapper, 2 away. We'll see if those come into play in the next few rounds.
Viper's wall, and every round it's been pretty telltale, right? That Viper's wall goes up,
Push
and
on
that's
A
exactly
already.
where XSET want to go. Yeah, and look, yeah, you're right. And it's because of that, right? Between the drone and the wall going up, it's telltale that that's where they want to go. Sentinels read off of that. You've got Shazam, who's already taken a ton of space away. So if for some reason this does not work on B, you don't have a ton of options to rotate back, right? Because you're going to walk into Shazam. The middle of the map, maybe. but they've got to commit to it here. This is probably their best chance at success. And as the round continues to go on, Shazam takes more and more space away, this time alongside Dapper. BCJ and Def have already dropped as Sentinels, with their full grips and fingers around every single area of the map, have denied so much space. They've suffocated what XSET have. Oh, Aaron. That's going to open things up. You've got Pure and Zekin both so weak on health, though. Aaron, good for another. I mean, those are both flanks.
That's huge this round. Remember what I was saying? There's no flank protection. Shazam, easy frag there. Now the map is completely open.
30 seconds left.
And they have to
But
bite.
it doesn't work. The last one, he tries to meet TENZ and A in the 1v1.
But that was that bought XSET space. Oh, for a moment bought them space, but Zekin's got to go huge here. 32 health in the 1v1. And he's giving space away, but he's only got 10 seconds, right? He's got to get the spike down, and that's going to be advantageous for TENZ. As from up top, cleans up the round for Sentinels.
What a round. For the solo rotation as well. The thought behind the plays, the rotations, this should have been a cleanup. Aaron did so much damage, but for just TENZ to come over here and be the keystone to keep this round going. Absolutely incredible stuff. Well played, great calls on both sides there. But Sentinels with the edge.
Ooh, this map is dialing up, and it's really delivered as the rest of the series has. That just bodes well for what's to come. Early recon dart. There's the wall again. Right, but how do they play off of it? This time it's not going to be an aggressive hit. They also haven't had the drone to follow up with it. As BCJ's looking down long. He's got a Marshall. But it's a lighter buy the rest of the way. Pure's the only one who's got a full rifle.
Neat little double peek there on different elevation. Coming from Sentinels. I like the variety they're trying to offer here. You're walking through, like I said, give him a little bit of utility and he'll take the agency to walk right in a fearless manner. Healed up, and they will reset now, 5v4.
If they opt to go B, you've just got Zoms down there, and they know that no one's pushed up because BCJ's been watching long the entire time. So they're going to work the middle of the map as well, expose Kitchen, try to get into an advantageous spot and work towards B. But the thing is, Sentinels are wise to it, right? Like, they're working middle as well. Shazam's just on the other side of the smoke as Def gets up.
Good rotation out by Six. Six can let them know that they're in the right spot, at least on this partial rotation. Oh, he's under the tube. They're going to be in Kitchen right next to each other. Shazam looks up, finds one, but does he know there's two? Zoms onto another one here. We do see Shazam go down on your screen as Zoms continues to answer, Doug.
2v2, Six in a great spot, too. The Viper Spit's going to come out, but Six can clean him up. Aaron's left alone. He's got the Viper Spit. He's got a 1v1, too. But he's got to get the spike with 5 seconds. He's not going to have enough time. Riv, he's just got to find the kill, and no, Six not having any of it. He's just running for the fences. What a strange round win. And Six gets the kill as well to give Sentinels the lead.
Sentinels taking full advantage of there being no Cypher, no Killjoy on the outside. I was going to say no Sentinels, but that almost didn't make sense. They have completely taken over and little movement. And Sick is always the one to do that. And the information he grabs is never hard, fast, and forward. It's wait, push up, wait, push up. And the team can then decide what they continuously want to do as they move around the map. Again, that a Sick push there was able to give them the info they needed to capitalize on the run.
Blade Storm online, both, actually. Shazam also has a Spectre in his back pocket. Don't get in your way. Well, I can't get in your way if you did. Zekin cleans up Zoms early on. That's not going to be a factor. You hear that Blade Storm, coming through. My gosh, the kills come in droves. As TENZ gets the last couple, but Zekin gets the final one, a 3K on the round, to tie us up at 9. Neither team willing to give an inch.
A taste of their own medicine, XSET gives Sentinels, and the round is just as fast as we saw when Sentinels threw up the mid wall, rushed underneath tube, and went to B. Firing on all cylinders now. They're in each other's heads. They have a few flanks that work. Everything's then orchestrated perfectly to stop the flanks, and we're getting a great game because they are now just butting heads round after round. We're going to have a half or an eco buy here by Sentinels. They're going to have to wait it out. Sick does have the Marshall. If he can get some frags in here, that would give him the ultimate to play for the next few rounds.
It's a Full gamble from Sentinels towards B. Look at that. All 4 of the 5 members, excuse me, laying down long. Aaron spots one. How much more can he get? Gets a second, a third. Knows where the last is. Line him up. Knock him down. Aaron gets 4. Dapper on the opposite side of the map stays healthy, at least for now. But that's all there is. A flawless round from XSET for them to take the lead. It was a gamble from Sentinels, and Aaron stuffed it.
Those ones feel good. Aaron's like, all right, I'm real close to having Viper's Pit once again in this situation, so no sweat there. We'll see this push up. Quick flicks in and out, never leaving himself too much in the open. And actually, the strafe timing that he had on Sentinels, just picture perfect, you know, the way they were playing it. You love to pick those up. We'll see how they head into this one.
So now Aaron, with that in mind, just 2 points away from having the Viper's Pit available. Zekken's got the Empress. BCJ has the Hunter Series as well, still rocking that Marshall. So again, we see BCJ enter the round from a slight economic disadvantage in order to pan things out for his friends, but Sick. Oh, Sick was able to get one, but Pure trades it out. The Hunter Series is going to come out from Dapper, understanding where Pure is.
Shazam,
Not
quick
able to
push
land the
already.
shots. TENZ swung out as well, trying to play off of that, but it's Zekken who wins that duel.
Oh, Shazam just can't see them down that middle way. They've pushed up Kitchen, one just under Boiler there as they're waiting. And now Zoms is also looking underneath. A nice catch as Pure can't get Kitchen to work for himself. Dapper cleans that one out and mops the floor with Pure. Shazam has not moved yet. I think they may have understood that Spike was at a certain place, which is why they're not worried about the rotation of Zekken. He is the key point for XSET to win this round right now.
Yeah, but if they're going back towards A thinking that there's safety because Zekken has gotten all the way in, they have no idea that Shazam is there. Yeah, and that rotation stops it. Shazam was able to get one. BCJ trades it out. There's Zekken on the deep flank. He's been spotted. Dapper gets away with his life. BCJ with the Marshall, not able to land the shot. Zoms wins that duel, leaving Zekken alone. Now, he's got the Empress. We mentioned it earlier, and both members are weak, so this is certainly a winnable situation. The Lear, not going to find anything quite yet, but he's still got to get to the spike. Dapper's going to run away, leaving the fight on to Zoms, and Zoms wins that duel. 10-10. I mentioned it earlier, but Riv, this really feels like 2 heavyweight boxers just going toe-to-toe, trading blows, and it's been so much fun to watch.
It really is, because each team is figuring out what strat is going to be the most formidable on the next round, playing off a few precedents set by their opponent. If Sentinels were to push, XSET needs to move fast. XSET does that, but then, again, no flank. Once their strat stops, they run right back in. That round, Zekken needed to take way more agency and ground. He was on that mid spot for 15, 20 seconds without entering A to find out, entering towards the kitchen to find out. So a little hesitant here by XSET, as Sentinels has just been denying them information.
Well, and once again, see Shazam has gone up aggressively. Oh, he's been spotted this time. No shenanigans are coming through. BCJ channeling the Hunter's Fury. Got a tag on a Shazam, but that seems to be it. Empress has come online. TENZ absolutely eliminates that right off the bat. Shazam looking for a second. He gets that and a third for Sentinels. Make that 4. As BCJ's the last one that remains. That, much like the last couple of rounds, ended almost as quickly as it has started, Rip.
Doug, as soon as Zekken had Empress the first time it got dropped like that, that was basically a dry entry into the site with the ultimates going off. XSET, it kind of fell out of their orchestrated gameplay here, and you just see them, everybody just jumping forward, running in. There's no utility there. Shazam has been in this position multiple times, pushing forward, knowing Sick has been pushing A, and it just seemed like XSET a little too sure of themselves with using less utility. And that can obviously be a choice to use the utility post plant, but I feel like they're Sentinels just, you can't give them that much right now.
Shazam with the op this round. Waiting for entry towards A. Got Zekken, who's playing a bit further up, but no information given away quite yet. Meanwhile, you just heard a Marshall go off from BCJ. Oh! Op shot misses. Shazam gets tagged up.
And still.
TENZ follows. Yeah.
Pushed up.
Yep. And that's the thing, like, you don't expect that, right? And you see them pulling off because you heard the dash come away, but TENZ reads him like a book. Good for one, looking for the second.
God.
He gets it.
He was going to wait, but he heard the second person run and knew he had the aim to make both shots, even in the instance of action. Confident stuff coming out of Sentinels right now. They're going to be retaking this one. BCJ doing what he can as he just fires off the chamber. That's empty. Looking for the classic clip. Can he make it happen? And he does not. Draws a beautiful picture of Zoms on the wall there, if I've ever seen one. But he does get taken down in the end by Dapper. 12-10. Sentinels. This is a 12-10, but I feel like Sentinels have had quite a bit of control over the closeness in these rounds still.
The way that TENZ and Shazam played off each other at the beginning of that round there was just so much fun to watch, and that's the theme, right? That's been the theme for this squad in this best of 5. Aggressively take space away, be it Breeze, be it Haven, now be it Icebox. The recipe remains the same.
I think they figured out what makes XSET uncomfortable. That's one of the biggest things. You make your opponent play sweaty right off the bat, they are not playing their game, Doug. They're slipping and sliding all around on different thoughts of what will work against the defensive Sentinels right now. Is a best of 3? I love, like I said before, that we have the 1-1. This isn't a 3-0 either way, because there's no way that this series could end up that way. These teams well evenly matched. And we'll see if XSET can bring this to an overtime. They have the ultimates to make it happen if they can get to a site and throw down this Viper ult.
No aggressive denial of space from Sentinels. Oh boy, here we go. That's a cue. That's a green light for them to go. The showstopper gets one. And that's all it is. BCJ was able to trade it out though. The res is going to come through to equalize things back to a 4v4, but the spike has not made any progress. Zekken does have middle of map control. As you see the rain on your mini map holding things down. Ultorb is going to go into the pockets of BCJ. Eventually. Bit delayed, but it is going to happen. Six in a great spot, though. Six in a great spot. Sit good for one. Not able to get the second. Pure swings around and gives it to him.
30 seconds left.
But the spike has made his way back behind Yellow. With just a few moments left in the round, I don't know that they have enough time to rotate out. They've kind of got to commit to this second on the lurk. Will establish some presence further in, but that's it.
There are so many rounds that timer is blinking red, Doug. XSET pushing it to the limit each time. This time it's working for them. They're able to get the spike down. Now 45 seconds on the clock for Sentinels to change this round.
You've got Dapper, who's blinked so far back, but manages to get the kill into second anyway. Shazam with the op. Cloudburst buying him some space to move as they slowly but surely encroach a bit closer, a 2v2. Pure just waiting. Def spots one. No, Def's not able to get it. It's going to be Pure in that 1v2 to keep the round alive. He's good for one. The 1v1 as the spike continues to tick away. Who's going to peek first to dash across? Pure. Who's going to get tapped? Dapper's going to stick it. Dapper gets it to half, and then he pulls off. Pure's still waiting around, but it's just a second tap as he's just waiting, playing around the rosy. Pure goes absolutely nuts. A Red Bull clutch to keep the map alive.
That entire time, I'm thinking Blade Storm is available. You're ready, but he's able to hold it. That's so key. Now for the final round, they can have Blade Storm Pure under pressure right here. The quick dash, knowing that's hardly ever going to be cleaned up, still has the tailwind available, and you're just playing cat and mouse. Does it beautifully. We could be going to overtime here in map 3, Doug.
My goodness, what a round. All right, let's take stock of where we are now.
Get out of my way.
It's going to be rifles, light armor in BCJ's pocket. You hear the Blade Storm comes online. A couple of key ultimates for Sentinels available. The Hunter's Fury and the Res, as well as the Viper's Pit in Aaron's pocket. Shazam's already spotted where he is. Yep. Oh, what?
Bye-bye hand.
Oh, Shazam looking for more. Not
More
able to land
info.
the shots. He's going to dash away. Dapper bringing in the Hunter's Fury. Not going to connect on to much. Look at how XSET's already playing off, right? Like, let's wait through this. Let's weather the storm and then reassess.
Moving up, Pure did drop that rifle so he could go Blade Storm Spectre here. So you see how much XSET's trying to work together to get these rounds in their favor. Still rifles on the remaining members besides Pure with his Blade Storm. Wall's about to break and they will start to creep. Dapper, a quick jump up the steps as he once again tries to take control of Kitchen.
Exactly, the timing's so good there because as soon as the wall goes down, you see Dapper was starting to rotate. They've gotten up the Kitchen, but you've got Dapper there good for one. Sick was there as well. Def comes up absolutely nuts for XSET as he gets a couple zoms. Cleans up BCJ, leaving things in a 3v2 in favor of Sentinels. Sentinels looking to avoid overtime. The Viper's Pit's going to come out. Oh, as Def equalizes things to 2v2. 3 for Def. As he gets the spike down. No, TENZ. Can TENZ
Just over the shoulder.
that? Oh my gosh.
Just over the shoulder.
Def with 40 health. As they're going to have to work their way through the Viper's Pit to make this happen. Toms with a great spot onto Def. It's just Aaron. Now Aaron still has that Viper's Pit online. If there was anyone to die there, fortunately it wasn't, but the counter Viper's Pit's going to be used, so it's just going to be green jello across everyone's screen as TENZ tanking forward, going aggressive. The blast pack not spotting anyone. Aaron may spot where he is, but is he going to drop down? It hasn't been tapped yet, but you hear the footsteps coming through. He knows where it is. He knows where the ping is, but TENZ is second half. Aaron wins one, looking for the second. Zom's so weak. He challenges it, and Aaron does it again. Another Red Bull clutch. Oh, baby, we're going to overtime.
Down to the last drop every single round of this Icebox matchup. So different than the first time these teams met just a bit ago here on Icebox. Doug, this is wild. Aaron has been stepping up from map to map, whether it's a Cypher, whether it's his Viper right now. It has been a pleasure to watch what he's doing here on the side of XSET. Everybody participating to get the frags to work. We're at 12-12, and we're in overtime.
Oh my gosh. Y'all, it doesn't get a whole lot better than this. Man, it really doesn't. Like, plays like that, rounds like that, to get into overtime in a grand final setting, what more could you possibly ask for? I mean, potentially a LAN, wear masks, get vaccinated. But other than that, this has been such a treat of a series, and we're far from over. Now we're looking at Sentinels on the attacking side. They've got the drone to entry onto A. They're going to get past 410. So they should be sitting comfortably here, but they still have to get the spike down.
Spike planted under that slow orb. It's going to be tough to get out right at first, but it looks like they'll be able to set up the defense. Now the flank is being watched. A fast strat is the only way that we're really going to be able to set up the knowledge that no one was behind them right away, and that's what Sentinels have done. Let's see if they can execute their post plan.
Shazam up top, understanding where the pressure is going to be coming in from. Shazam's good for 110s as well. My goodness, XSET hasn't been able to work their way in at all as Sentinels refuse to give an inch. Of course, as I say that, Shazam drops, leaving BCJ, however, to make magic happen. No, he's going to drop. Sentinels, for now, take the attacking side of overtime.
Very clean round by Sentinels. It seems like they kind of thrive in that chaos. You can kind of equate that to their B Haven strat. In, out, clean, and make sure you just take down the opponents as they rotate in. It seems like it's pretty methodical for them once they're able to get in that quickly and be causing a bit of chaos around the board. Seeing how XSET could play this one, we do have Vandals, Phantoms. Not going to change too much. Nobody's going for a big buy here. But it looks like they are going to do a split. I wonder if B is a little bit noisier here than the start on A.
Yeah, so the Viper's wall goes up. And again, TENZ has played this spot before, right? It was a couple of rounds ago. We saw him get the kill here and then take the showstopper in. But he's not going to have that opportunity this time around. Shazam does have an op, a glass cannon here, as the drone from BCJ should give him a little bit of room to work with. But on Icebox on A, man, if you're not getting past 410, it doesn't matter.
Slow play. See, Shazam's already moved his spot to try to make that shot work for himself. If he doesn't see anything on conveyor, I wonder how long actually they keep Dapper where he is. He's going to start to back off already a little bit.
Yep. Yeah, exactly, but that
that
dart
alerts him.
Yep, that dart should tell him that something's going. Oh my gosh! Dapper, what a flick! Shazam gets one as well. Looking for the second. Yep, able to get it. The dash away somehow stays alive as BCJ's not able to clean him up. Def, however, working the middle of the map, opening things up a bit for XSET. The thing is, BCJ is on an island here by himself. He's gotten onto the site, but he doesn't have very much as far as like resources around him. He's got the spike, but he's got to wait for his teammate to show up. He can't easily plant the spike here without fear of getting swung on, and that's exactly what's happening. They pinged him out. They know where he is. He's gonna need some help. No, the jump up. Shazam punishes Def. Good for one. 1v2. 9 seconds left. He's got to get the spike down the tap. Oh, he's going to run out of time. He's going to have to do this. He's going to have to do this old-fashioned way.
He's got enough.
Ooh, but he's going for the kill. Def with 38 health. He's got the res.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my gosh, Psalms! Coming down from the rope just in the nick of time to pull off the defuse to give Sentinels the overtime win and to give them a 2-1 series lead. We need a break. I need a break. When we return, the next map, don't go anywhere.
Your purchase could be free when you use your Credit Karma Visa debit card. Free groceries, free gas, or even a free TV. It's called Instant Karma, and you can only win it from Credit Karma Money. Open your account for free in the Credit Karma app. Credit Karma Money. Progress starts here.
Look, you got me. A chance at just one glance to your glory. I needed it, look at my past. Do you need anything? You can use me, I'm yours. Do you see anything? You wanna change your brain?
Welcome back to Championship Sunday. It has been a roller coaster of emotion so far, and this ride is not stopping anytime soon. I'm Doug.
Brakes are broke.
With me is Ray. I mean, we don't know where this bad boy's stopping either. It's just going full steam ahead. Very quickly, though, we want to touch base with one of our partners that has come together to make this event possible, and that's our friends over at Zowie. With exclusive technologies like dynamic accuracy and color vibrance, Zowie monitors make it easier than ever to track enemies, control weapon spray, and secure the site for your team. Check out zowie.benq.com for more info, or if you'd like to learn more about how dynamic accuracy can affect your gameplay, just search "What is Diac" to skip right to the good stuff. Again, huge thanks to our friends over at Zowie. And Riv, we've got to talk Icebox, man. Where do you even start?
I think we start in an area where Sentinel fans can be a bit happy, Doug, and more for just the victory here. Looking at Shazam's track record and how he will start to read and play against the team, I think came into play very big here. After the both teams recognized that they could start pushing up, no flanks were there, Cypher, no Killjoy. I think we saw Sick pushing up all the time on defense. The information that was able to be grabbed by Sentinels is what started to win them this game, and that's Shazam's chess game. As soon as he's in his opponent's heads that enough, it just seems like all of Sentinels were moving around XSET and then getting him at the right time.
So many, just bonkers individual plays, right? You think about that 1v1.
And that's the
on
other
B.
thing.
Yeah, and you think about this. Dude, he was on the rope. But
I mean,
to land the
he
shots.
had to show up.
Yeah.
I forget his name. He had to show up XSET's Viper, right? Because of the last play where he just clutched it. So, easy peasy.
Whew. And the good thing is, this thing is not over. It's really hard to kind of highlight one thing when it's been such a complete performance from both sides. Again, it's just been such a treat to watch these two teams duke it out. It's been Ray's had an absolutely incredible performance. BCJ just seemingly refusing to give up the MVP spot no matter what the map is or what's going on. He's been so good for XSET, but unfortunately just in the 11th hour fall a bit short to give Sentinels that lead. And I think you touched on something that I think is very important, Riv, and that's Shazam, his ability to adjust throughout the map to figure out how XSET is playing and make minor tweaks to get the best of him, and that paid off.
Right. It's always going to be difficult to fight Sentinels, right? They're an incredibly strong team. They've been honing their skills for a long time, and a bit of that makes it more impressive for XSET to be able to find their way to this caliber of competition. We know they're there, but the consistency is what makes a team shine, right? And they have been able to show that consistently and rival a bit of Sentinels. Of the final few maps here, I think will definitely show us Sentinels' kind of final power here as they've been ramping up, and it seems like that's what they were able to do is adapt throughout this series. But Ascent is, again, one of those maps that I said Sentinels will be up in mid. They're up on A to start. They're up on B because of that availability, and that information is a big boon for them. I think XSET can still put up a good fight. We could get another map to overtime, but I feel like XSET is kind of, they were punching down before, now they're battling back up.
Yes, they are indeed. And the thought of another overtime just kind of gets me all warm and fuzzy on the inside. Let's take a look at the maps one more time. You mentioned that we're heading over to Ascent, and we'll take a look at how we have gotten to this point. We started this bad boy off on Haven. It seems like forever ago that we started this thing. Great win from XSET, 13-9. Then we turned our attention over to Breeze, which was a 13-7 in favor of Sentinels. And then that brought us to Icebox. And as I mentioned it earlier, what an emotional roller coaster that was. Turning all of our attention over to Ascent next, and then, if needed, if XSET's able to force map 5, that is going to be headed over to Split, where XSET will start on the defense. I think Ascent, you touched on, and really this has been the case for Sentinels the entire series, is their ability to aggressively take space away, to apply pressure where it hurts, right? It's not just like blindly taking space away and applying pressure, but it hurts. They know where to hit, and they're hitting at the right time, and that's been so difficult for XSET to deal with. You've got to make those adjustments here, especially on a map on a set like Ascent,
absolutely,
where so much of that is possible.
Yeah, and I wonder if that, for the defensive side, is that's where Sentinels will be starting with their defensive pick. Is it was it maybe sick on Cat with the Sky, how they may play it, make sure they have a bit of that Trailblazer or find that goes right onto mid, because once you know what's happening in mid, it sets the pace of the round, right? You're either, you can be ready for a rush at either the sites, or you know it's delayed, so there's time to set up, reposition. Whatever happens in mid is going to be very big between these two teams, I think.
Well, hopefully we've got you guys all excited for the next map. We're going to cut to a break. When we return, Ascent between XSET and Sentinels. Don't go anywhere. Agent Select coming through between Sentinels and XSET as we turn our attention over to Ascent. And before we get into some of that, Riv, we learned something very interesting about Sentinels and Ascent during the break. Would you care to share that with the rest of the
I
crowd?
think you should, as you came up with it. I'm still just kind of in awe right now, Doug.
Yeah, that's fair. Sentinels haven't played Ascent since April 29th.
Which means
April
it wasn't
29th, bro. Yeah, that's like forever ago. They have not had a rep on this map since then, and the last time they did, it was against version 1, which they lost 13-4. So, there may be something here that XSET can capitalize on to get themselves to map 5, but when you've got a team like Sentinels, obviously that's a difficult thing to do regardless of the map. So, XSET feeling far more comfortable here heading into this map. They do have a couple of reps on Ascent specifically in this tournament, right? They were able to best 100 Thieves, and they were able to best Rise 13-10, 13-4 respectively. So much more recent reps on this map for XSET. Well, Sentinels, we don't really know what to expect.
I don't, but we do have the episode 1, Act 1 composition coming in. You love to see it. You love to see it. So much Cypher, Omen, a little bit of Jet, and Phoenix. They're going back to the tried and true. What feels comfortable that they remember from the wee old 1700 of April 19. But yeah, it's going to be, I think, what Sentinels knows. They're going to play that with Sick going off when he can, a little bit of all-door focus. And I'm excited to see what XSET brings to the table here. They do have the Astra for Death. That can be played all across the map for XSET's fakes. Remember, XSET's Haven was primarily won by disengaging the initial holds that Sentinels had. Playing a few strats, making Sentinels move, and then they were beating Sentinels at their post plant. Let's see if they can do it again here on Ascent.
So the Ult Orb already coming through in favor of BCJ. We'll see how they choose to prioritize that.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, towards B, right, they know that nobody's pushing in. At least they haven't worked their way through yet, but they're not wise to the fact that both Dapper and Shazam are pushing their way up. TENZ already gotten one, seriously messes up another as BCJ so weak, and there's that pressure that we were talking about, right? They just full send. They do not give their opposition a single inch to work with.
They're playing off of each other too, right? TENZ knows one's peeking on Cat, so you continue to peek. It's like ducks going across the row. Which one do you shoot? Fantastically played here by Sentinels to start the pace off hot. Looks like they're just looking to finalize the last few kills. Pure is going to come around and try and bolster the group here with the cavalry. I don't know if it's going to work, but BCJ starts them off a little bit right.
A little something. Zekin gets one as well, but now without Shazam getting one, Zekin gets two. So now they can work their way up. My gosh, they have a total of 5 HP. Yeah. And Zombs never left A, right? So they wisely apply pressure B through Garage. They apply pressure through mid, and they stay at home on A just in case, right? Like, because you're funneling them towards A. That's the only place that they can go, and Zomb welcomes them with open arms. A quick, easy 2K right there to win the round for Sentinels.
Gotta loves the Zomb security team. He's always there, ready to hold it down. And that's a great attribute, too. Never over-rotating, always being prepared. 2 quick frags for him. And that means he's going to be having full util to be throwing at XSET here. Do Sentinels again, push straight up. Looks like TENZ will continue to take hold of mid. And you'll always get Shazam just firing darts over, making sure they can control that B to tiles area right off the bat.
And he's got a Guardian. Risen in prominence since the latest patch, and you start to see why. It's more effective from a financial perspective, and it still hurts.
Yep.
Hits like a damn truck. Zekin's already dropped.
Ooh, wow. Very nicely played off the audio cue from Shazam's drone. Aaron just goes full force into the site and takes down Shazam while he was in his little pad. It's going to be now a 3v4. Still Sheriffs and this Frenzy as they make sure to grab themselves the Spectre before they head off of A.
Well, and that's, I mean, Aaron did that, what was that, on Icebox around the Roomba from TENZ? It's the exact same thing, right?
Yep.
Played around the util, swings, gives it to him, and manages to walk away with the kill. For BCJ, he's been eating those ult orbs, a full diet of it, as he's already gotten to 4, halfway to having the Hunter's Fury online. We see him to continue to prioritize that. While for XSET, I mean, right, they know, right? They were making no doubts about where they're trying to go from an audio perspective, but Dapper was able to take care of Pure. TENZ is on the site, but he's only got 40 health. Oh, and he's not on the site anymore. Great positioning by Def to win them that and leave Sick. A 1v3, now he's got a Ghost, and he's got a wall, and a hot hand. So he's got something to work with. The turret, Def, is he going to swing on it? No, just patiently waiting. Sick's in a brutal spot here. He's going to have to work things around. Waiting to see if anyone's going to be pushing back through Defender spawn. Not going to be the case. Sick slowly creeping. He might be able to get behind. Yeah, he's able to get behind Def. A 1v2 now. One step closer. BCJ's weak.
Oh my god. Does Sick
save
this?
Upgrade. He gets a weapon upgrade too. Aaron's got to go big. Aaron's got to go big, and he does it. My A round win for XSET to tie us up at 1 apiece.
XSET, mental booming Sentinels. Sentinels trying to mental boom XSET. Just 2 rounds into the 3rd game. Oh my, I should say 4th game. Oh my word. This is something else, Doug. We are going right down to the wire on every one of these rounds, and that is an eco for XSET to stop the early rounds for Sentinels. Absolutely huge here. Cannot be underestimated or understated. We're going to see what happens with the alts. 2 orbs for Sick, 2 orbs for Dapper, and 1 for BCJ.
See some investment of utility towards B early on. The ult orb going into Zekin's pocket. As
Push up.
TENZ this time quietly but surely takes more of an aggressive position and gets rewarded with a kill. Sick on the other side of the smoke. He's got a Sheriff. It's getting blasted through, but no, he's worked his way around. The audio cue's going to give him away. And from that, he backs up. Avoids disaster. Now the hot hands, the flash is there. Sick gets cleaned up. Very well played by Second and Pure as well. TENZ was able to get one. He's still up in heaven. Somehow manages to get a second as Zoms does as well. Things look so good for XSET.
Doug,
Now
what's
BCJ's
happening right
1v2.
now?
I don't know, man. I don't know, but I'm here for it. I'm along for the ride.
Punch for punch on these rounds. The Sentinel pick up round number 3 after losing. After picking up pistol round. We'll have to see here. We are watching TENZ. Zoms as well, just back on A site. Jenny, BCJ around the corner. He's been one of the focal points for XSET. And now he comes in. The ultimate's up, but he has no time to grab it. Oh my god! The heavy penetration right through to Zoms.
By the Guardian, friends. By the Guardians. A Red Bull clutch from BCJ. I'm tired of calling the guy's name. But when he does stuff like this, how do you not? Isolates the 1v1 against TENZ, and then the huge tap from the drone allows that to happen. Without him getting that from the drone, that play's not an option. Beautiful from BCJ.
Wow. That is those shots. I love it. I absolutely love it when it just completely takes you by surprise. And he plays it so clean. Quite a bit of damage. He says, oh yeah, you want to play the spam game? Answers right back. Answers right back, Doug.
BCJ, Hunter's Fury online, but not without paying a price. He's going to get healed up a bit, courtesy of Zekin Sky. Now he's in a much better position. Operator in the hands of TENZ. As they haven't aggressively taken any space away, you've still got TENZ holding down middle with an op.
Yeah.
And in case he has to give that space up, you've got the tripwire from Dapper so that they can rotate off but still have information across the middle of the map.
XSET doing a nice job of making sure Sentinels stays at bay from mid, from other things. Early stars dropped here allow also movement into mid if they want to go with this drone. It doesn't look like they're using that for too much of an idea. It was bait indeed.
Not able to. So we tagged up TENZ, but that's all it was. And BCJ so consistently will tag one with the recon dart and then use the Hunter's Fury. The Seekers have come out as well as they dash their way onto the site, but Shazam! The anchor not giving up anything as Pure drops. Dapper gets in on it as well. Flashed up, but Shazam, the shock dart. Oh, the shock dart, but Sit goes in. It's just BCJ. Can you do it again? A 1v4? Surely not, right? With 13 seconds left, they're just kind of waiting it out. He's going to get taken out. Dapper delivers the final bullets to tie us up at 2 apiece.
Spammed through the wall. Hearing his footsteps go down, almost was able to get in there through the audio warfare that was going on from the Odin and the rest of the Phantoms. 2-2, Doug, as we come into round 5. Everybody on the board to frag, so we got everyone's off and running. You don't have that kind of pressure on you to perform here. Don't have to worry about that. Bladestorm for TENZ. Dapper there with the ultimate as well. And a few just away here for the side of XSET. On deck is Pure with his Bladestorm as well for the attack side. And the push up from Sick, they say, no, you will not get coverage on the alt orb. That's ours to start and ours for the round.
Okay, should get some info. And TENZ down to 46 health. Sick got tagged up as well. Make that 20. Oh, but he's got a shorty. He's got the flash. The flash's not going to do, or excuse me, the shorty's not going to do anything as the flash paves the way. But the members of Sentinels rip XSET to shreds throughout that round. It didn't look good for TENZ early on, but they were able to pick up the pieces. Sentinels take a 1-round lead.
There's a quick one to put in the books. figuring out how they would play against the fast eco round. You're always trying to pressure your opponents, take a chance. It's like looking at a pitch in baseball, you know? You let a few swing by, you know you may not get some. And that was the rush towards Cat. See how Sentinels would react. Back to weapons. Shazam gonna go for his spams. Phantoms across the board here for XSET as they look to keep it secret.
Revealing area.
No coverage on that alt orb this time.
No.
Might be Aaron, so they might get locked down as well. There you go.
You should run.
So you see him on the opposite side of the map. You mentioned the lockdown, but on the opposite side of the map, they've taken space away through Garage. He's got the op and the Blade Storm, but Zombs gets dropped instantly, so they are going to have easy access onto A. Keep an eye on the mini-map because Def is getting a little impatient. TENZ is on the other side as well. The spike's going to go down. Neither of them are wanting to move. Who's going to go first? Oh, it's going to be Def. Oh, it's going to be Def. Oh, no, it's going to be Def. TENZ and Sig both get a kill almost at the exact same time. BCJ trades one out, though, as the spike has been playing at Shazam from up in heaven. Looking to make it happen, nothing doing. BCJ with 3. As TENZ now, he's got the Blade Storm, but Pure does as well. And they may just opt to save the op here.
Remember we said this is where XSET can find a lot of their strength against Sentinels. They were able to make sure the post plants went in favor of XSET on Haven. Here we see when XSET can get that spike down, they are good at shutting down what Sentinels is trying to do. That team that thrives off of retakes. Almost a double coming up for TENZ. You make sure that's one is PCJ goes down to the spike after all.
Unfortunate things you hate to see, but I mean, it was such a good setup. Again, it came off of that lockdown, and you called it, Rib. The ability for them to have space to work with around that ult orb, to get the lockdown online, and then utilize that to get easy access onto A was just beautiful from top to bottom.
About finding that window, finding the rotation. The one round that kind of Sick isn't there on long A for the moment, and Zombs is taking a high position in sight. They do switch it up. Now it's the B push coming out here, and TENZ is going to make sure he has a little bit of coverage on this operator with 2 to swing over. They leave him, though. 6 heading back towards A.
Ooh, I like that swing from Zekin. Not able to make it land, though. Shazam blasting through. It's so hard to work your way past that, right? Because you've got the Odin ripping through the wall. You've got a bit of utility as well, and now you've got TENZ with the op holding that tight angle. You can't really make your way in there.
No, and you can see they set up for this too. Cypher Trap on Cat, Cypher Trap on mid. So Sick could be present. Oh, just misses the rear end. And now it's going to be Def safe after that one. Does he still live though? Pure takes down TENZ as he continues to rush forward, and XSET are off and running here on round 7.
I mean, an abundance of missed shots from both players, but it seems to pan out, at least in Pure's favor this time around. Aaron's able to get the spike down as they have taken full control of B. The 2 remaining members of Sentinels nowhere really near the site. You've got Zombs with the From the Shadows, but into a 2v5 like that, that's a difficult situation. So Pure will likely carry the op into the next round, as XSET should theoretically take the lead.
It looked like it was going to be the perfect play. I feel like she was releasing one of her stars there. Def had just made a motion of the ability, which I think threw TENZ off slightly on that shot. Dapper with 1, and they'll be able to clean him up. Zom's just hanging out. He doesn't have to worry about Spike going off here as they hunt for him, but another round we have coming for XSET. Once they get that spike down, it seems to be in their favor. They orchestrate their defense so quickly. Even if they're under pressure, everybody gets to their necessary position.
So that op will come through. And this was this was interesting to watch. And there were just so many different opportunities there.
See, you chase that in any one of yours or my games, and there's 3 people on the other side of that smoke ready to save, ready to save that jet, and everyone's like, "Why did you just chase?" They're all stars. They're just all stars. No, a really heady play there for Pure to make sure TENZ went down. Blade Storm for him. He's gonna rock it right off the bat. And 6 back to guard in the Arc Orb. Oh, 6 throws the Molly, runs up, so they focus on him. TENZ plays the bait game as he flies over the wall.
Excellent use of teamwork and excellent use of utility there. Surely we're going to see that play later on today.
Yep.
I mean, beautiful set piece from Sentinels.
It's kind of about it's using that precedent that you set. There were rounds that Sick had done that, but never had TENZ gone up over the wall. So why would they think to? It's the little things that you really love to see teams adding to the strategies to make them work even better. Sentinels looking to pick this one up with a member up at the moment on the agent count. But this would tie the game back up as we're going back and forth. 50 seconds left in the round, as they just have to wait for XSET to make a move.
Now they do have the Cosmic Divide online, and they do still have some util. So CJ presumably could get some. Okay, never mind. Forget it. Forget I was saying anything. When you've got TENZ doing things like that with the Blade Storm, what kind of options do you have? Not able to land the last.
There he goes.
Hunting. He wants it. He got it, baby. An ace for TENZ.
You should have seen your faces. Yeah, Jet's right. The faces were just getting torn off there. What a start to the round here. This is the Molly and run it back, as we just saw from Sick. Underneath, TENZ taking advantage of the misdirection. Beautifully played, and then playing a little hopscotch here with his pogo stick behind Dyson A. This standstill on this, too. Sending messages, Doug.
Sending messages. Sentinels looking to put XSET away. We're tied back up. TENZ has the op in his back pocket. No Blade Storm this time around, but he's obviously shown his proficiency on this weapon as well. Meanwhile, for XSET, a heavy stack towards B. Sick has already been tagged up. The middle of the map is not... That's not an option right now. And now they know that op is there too. Difficult spot to be in.
You are divided.
So the turret here would definitely activate to whoever's in sight. And I think they realize this is going to be a B hit, unless it's just the biggest fake with a lot of utility used here, Doug. Aaron starts it off onto TENZ immediately.
Cosmic Divide and the Seekers follow shortly thereafter. Sentinels have to peek through that wall to get some space. Dapper's still on backside, though. Dapper gets dropped. That's going to leave Zoms alone. And my goodness, he's on the other side of the map. Into a 1v4 like this. I mean, he may get a bead onto one. Okay. That's one step in the right direction. Aaron's going to get the spike down. But BC, I mean, they're all playing on the site, right? So if he can isolate some of this, he's got some utility.
Yeah.
This is, it won't be easy, but it is doable.
I mean, an entire nation. There's a chance. There's a chance. Looks like he is just playing for a bit of the exits, though. Or otherwise, he would have went for the door by this time. So holding off, hopefully finding that Odin, and we'll see what the safe exit is. Usually it is up towards this spawn area, as the flank is considered dangerous. Zom's going to get a little bit closer to make it happen, and spawn will be the exit route here. One guiding light, two guided light, a quick spam, and Zekin finds his target for a 3K on the round. Nicely done there. XSET again getting post-plant power to work in their favor.
And they, I mean, to understand exactly where he was going to be, to have the wherewithal to use the flashes to ensure that there's no one playing out for exits. It's just a very complete round, very well played from XSET. Now we'll take a look at Ultimates that are online. Aaron 1 point away from the lockdown. BCJ's got his Hunter's Fury, and we've seen a trend with BCJ, right? He'll use the drone. If he tags somebody, will not hesitate to get that Hunter's Fury online, whip it out, and try to deal damage and clear out space around the same time. Now, they don't have anything aggressive dialed up quite yet, and take a look at the adjustment from the op. TENZ is still opping, but he's in a different spot, so that should give him a bit of a cue to work the middle of the map, and that's exactly what Second's doing. The Tripwire is going to give some knowledge of that away. But Second still have tree control.
They're playing the double up. Tailwind out. Sick's going to be there to clean up as they come around the corner. And they're going to actually retreat from this strategy to give Sick a different positioning on where he wants to go. Alt Orb's been grabbed. Sick just hears that. So does TENZ. They turn around to see what's going down.
Yeah, but Aaron, so from that Alt Orb, Aaron got the lockdown online.
Right.
But look at the patience with which XSET's playing this round. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Yep, TENZ good for one onto Def. Going to dash away. Sick. Looking to make something happen. Lockdown not able to land the shot. Flick just narrowly missing. And not battle here as both Jets looking to make things happen. They both go up. They both go up aggressively. Sick has already dropped. Zekin not able to land it. As Pure gets one on a Shazam.
Tag
for another. Oh, the up battle. Yeah, Pure wins that one with the classic. Dapper in a 1v2. He's got a great spot though, but they've got to know where he is. Zeki gets messed up. The Cloudburst bought some space, but not enough. He's gonna have to get the spike down. Dapper goes in aggressive. Dapper clutches it out for Sentinels. A Red Bull one at that.
Chaos everywhere. Nobody's in a set position with these, running back and forth, just missing each other by coattails on these shots. Here again, Dapper's there as they don't think anyone would be within the vicinity. And he goes right through knowing there's only 4 seconds to send a message. We're at 5-5. Look at that round score. Neither team allowing it to slide in one way or the other here as we just balance on a knife's edge. This is what we needed to get in XSET. I mean, they're keeping it in potential for that 5th and final game of the series. Sentinels doing what they can to capitalize on these rounds. We're in round 11 now.
Pure has activated the Blade Storm. See a cheeky little one-way as Shazam looking to go in and get some info. TENZ with the peeking through. The flash is there. He has to back up. And you've also got the Gravity on the back of the site. Pure has been cleaned up. The Hunter Series is going to come out as well. And TENZ good for 1. Makes that a 2nd. Sick falls as well. TENZ for 3. Understands where a 4th one is. Spots him, not able to do it, but Shazam is. The Sentinels take the lead 6-5, entering the last round of the half.
Ready for speed, ready to compete. That was a quick round, and everybody on the team of Sentinels was ready to act on it. Nicely done. Just kind of a quick rush, quick stop. There has been a lot of good hold on to that B site for Sentinels. The loss of rounds comes whenever XSET can break the site. That post plant just seems to be how they are getting their victories on this one. And as we see, there hasn't been too many spikes going off. It's just been the frags once that post plant happens. So XSET is getting real aggressive in these rounds, and Sentinels, they're starting to bite back a little bit.
They are. Shazam aggressively blasting through with the Odin, see if he can tag anyone up through that wall. Not going to be the case. Retreat back.
I've got your trail.
And he should switch weapons. Yeah, he does. So he dropped that Phantom back there, is able to clean it back up. ECJ using the Hunter Fury. You hear the run it back is going to be used as well from Sick, but he walks right into a Seeker's, or excuse me, a Flash. Sick. Oh, Sick not able to get anything. Pure with the Frenzy. Does what is needed. Zom's going to get cleaned up as well, but here comes the rest of Sentinels. Dapper and TENZ don't give up anything. Zekin trying to make it happen. Makes it a 1v3, but he's got 33 health, and that's all he has. A 7-5 half from Sentinels.
Switching sides.
XSET there. The Hunter's Fury and the Seekers, I feel like were used a little disjointed. As we saw the Seekers, they were still moving up to that cat area. Hunter's Fury was used well before the Seekers turned the corner. So, well, I think they were trying to catch people in rotation or in movement, but being identified almost... You can't say hit confirm because it's not, but you'll definitely be able to find him with the Seekers. So maybe a bit disjointed on the power of utility. Use that round for XSET. Sentinels, again, cleaning up any mistakes, finding out how they can route around these attacks from XSET. Let's switch it around, though. It's going to be attack for Sentinels now as XSET tries to put up some defense here. 7-5 first half in favor of Sentinels.
Heavy stack towards B, trying to work tiles. You've got... Okay, some info. So they're going to understand the Top Cat is available, so they should be able to work the middle of the map. But they don't have any presence toward Garage. So at this point, they have options, right? They can funnel towards B. They can flip the map and go back towards A through Defender Spawn. Still really have the entire map in front of them.
Sick knowing a few are in.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So, wow, they have garrisoned the site right now with 3 members of XSET. This is going to be tough to take for Sentinels. Let's see.
Yeah, it was an excellent response from XSET, understanding that that's where the pressure was coming from. We talked about the tells. That's going to be it. They hunker back down on backside, but Sentinels full send. TENZ going. TENZ does it again. As he gets 2, Aaron's left alone. They've gotten full control of B. They're going to get the spike down, pitch a tent, have lunch, do whatever the heck they want back there, as Aaron hasn't been able to work his way in at all.
Open the floodgates. Just waterfall coming in from Sentinels. They drop into the site, overwhelm XSET on his pistol. And now it's going to be, can they connect this round with the next one? First half, XSET was able to come up big on that second round. Let's see if they can do it again here in second half.
A 20-8 performance out of 10 so far. And when you play full break like that, you just things just kind of fall your way.
Go.
Sometimes, yeah, baby, you just go. Hold W, he has 1 speed, and that's all that it is. But now it's Sentinels on the attack. They win that pistol, so they should have a slight advantage as far as finances and artillery go. Heavy lean towards A. The one difference being Dapper's playing towards B. Make sure nobody's going to be pushing in from garage.
Easy. Quick turret out. Not a problem for Aaron. Sick and the rest of the team happy to grab that. They know Aaron's going to be on the backside.
Again, dude.
Judge down. The verdict
just
is
a
you
second.
are gone. TENZ just on the right here. The quick dash in from Pure was pretty cheeky.
The shorty's right there. The shorty's right there. The
Oh.
shorty wins the shotgun duel as Pure plays around the smoke and manages to land the kill. Toms has gotten onto the site, but yeah, he's got the spike, but he's the only one there. BCJ down to 12 health. Excuse me, gets messed up, gets dropped. It's gonna leave Pure with 7 health and a judge. Upgraded off of TENZ. Can he have the same success? No, not with the ghost on the other side. Sentinels, they should win that round, but it wasn't without fireworks, without heroics from TENZ, and that's just always fun to watch when you're watching a judge player like that.
We'll see what they do with these eco rounds, but as I was saying, I felt like over the past few maps of this series, you get Shazam in that position where he's starting to read his opponent thoroughly. And that's a basis of 5 people, how they're playing and how they're reacting, right? You're almost thinking for everybody in a certain situation.
Right.
Everybody else is just considering that in the firefight they're in. Shazam making sure that happens for everybody here. And I feel like that's how a lot of the times Sentinels are able to overcome their opponents. Here they head back towards A for another round, and it's going to be orb focus for Sick, because why not?
Well, I mean, and that's been the case the last couple of rounds. You can see how deeply they prioritize getting that run it back into his hands, and the havoc that he's able to cause with that ultimate just creates so much space.
Moving towards B. It looks like the slow hit. Great timing from BCJ to use a bit of utility here. Figuring out that 1 minute mark could be a pressure point coming in from Sentinels. Now the push up towards mid. You can see that TENZ is waiting for some audio in a pretty tricky spot. Probably won't see any rotations just yet, but he is waiting to hear if somebody goes by him.
There it is. They managed to get both ult orbs in 6 hands to get the run it back. Def's able to clean it up without any damage done, and really nobody's able to follow that, right? So they still haven't gotten in, but TENZ on the flank through the middle of the map may get right behind Def. He's not careful. Def swings out. There's TENZ. He's got audio cue of 1 on the right. 1v5. Nothing doing. BCJ cleans it up. A flawless round from XSET. A desperately needed one, given how the half had kind of gone just in the nick of time.
Yep. That was definitely a big round, especially with what's coming out in utility on first buys for XSET, what that means for further rounds, because Sentinels have a bit of a cushion with that. They came out with the first few rounds of the second half. We see again they're going for a type of play that will be a semi-buy, but buying in with the Blade Storm on 10. So they're ready and raring to keep the pressure on here, even with that XSET win.
Yeah, so take a look. TENZ not buying anything because he's 1 point away from having the Blade Storm, so they're going to prioritize this ult orb, get it into his hands preferably, so that they can make something happen. But that's an excellent Nanoswarm to slow things down.
Yeah, that's tough to start with. Losing your armor loses a bit of confidence on who is going to be protecting TENZ on this, but they'll still try to grab it.
Well,
This
and
play,
Aaron's-
dog, this play. They're getting ready for the guided light.
Aaron's turret is there too, so it's not like they can easily swing. The gravity well also causes
word.
problems,
The
and they've
package.
gotten into a cheeky position as well. They've got to swing out again. The objective here, the mission objective, is to get that ult orb into TENZ pocket. So far, they haven't been able to do it, but slow and steady seems to be the case.
There she
But as
goes.
soon as it taps, all right, there it is. He gets it online, channels it instantly, and then they rotate off. So it took a little bit, right? It didn't feel good. There was investment of utility, but they got what they came here for.
It was, right? Nothing else happens this round until we get this orb, everyone. It's literally that general sitting over you with a cigar hanging out of his mouth, growling. We got push here into mid. Aaron is trying to get a well jump on the backside. They did see him, but I think he also saw a few heads or just the
30
bun of
seconds
Jet
left.
there going through mid from the top of her hair. So again, 3 in sight. The waterfall was able to overcome this last time. From top down, TENZ gets it started.
BCJ trades it out. Def's in a great spot, too. He's on the flank. You've also got Aaron on backside. BCJ good for a second. Zoms and Dapper, however, trained it out. Aaron's got to go big. No, nothing happening. It's all going to fall down onto Zekin's hands. He's got a Spectre. Doesn't have the element of surprise anymore. The spike goes down. As he's got to slowly creep his way forward. He's upgraded to a Phantom. Smoke's coming through. Zekin has to play this so carefully. Trailblazer gonna give him info of at least where one is, but there's not a tag, right? There's nothing to really help him. Spam through, but he does it anyway! Onto Dapper, a 1v1 now, but the clock continues to tick away. He's gonna have to go. Zom's getting impatient. Zom's looking to go grab some seconds. He's gonna be on the swing. Zoms comes up big for Sentinels yet again.
Oh, the ping work coming through. Almost made that round work. 10-6 as Zoms comes up big. He has had numerous clutch situations where the game has called on him to keep it going for Sentinels, and that is another time right there. XSET on this defense in sight, they've always been down in the trenches there, trying to get the fight, and it seems like Sentinels is able to pick them off one by one until the final one is done. 10-6 now as we're moving around 17. A little bit of round for round here. Let's see if XSET can take it back for a 7 of their own.
And you take a look at the timeline, and it from the end of the last half into the beginning of this half, it's really been all Sentinels. And you've talked about, we'll touch on this in a second, because the Hunter series come out. Pure swings out for 2. Sick trades it out, however. Dropping things down to a 3v2, make that a 3v1. 6 left alone, he gets cleaned up.
Okay.
An excellent response from XSET, right? And what I was trying to work through was that you touched on it. Shazam downloads, and then there's like a gap that's often built out. For XSET, this is about the moment when it happens. So XSET really needed that round win to be able to kind of stay in this. You continue to go tit for tat, and that's exactly what they wanted there.
All right, so that's 1 round loss. You look at 850 credits, 1,000 credits, 1,600. So this save here is imperative coming in for Sentinels. They'll be able to go through next round, but with the money resets happening like this and the game being so close economy-wise, it actually makes it really tough to get any buys strung together because you're always putting yourself on 1,900 loss credits, then 3,000 win, then 1,900 loss. And if you're dying each round, it becomes really troublesome. We have our 18th round here coming up. XSET starting to make a move to tie it up.
So they all work the middle of the map and then delay, swing back to work entry into B as well, and it works. It pays off. They've got onto there. Neural Theft is going to come through as the spike goes down. Sick with his 16 health. He's been able to upgrade a weapon, but he's going to go ahead and use to run it back. He's going to get flashed up as it continues to tick away, making sure that nobody's pushing up. Waits it out. Aaron was there for it. Again, pistols across the board with the exception of Sick. Second, good for 1 onto TENZ. They're going to use the Secrets as well. They will refuse to give up this round. The flash comes out. Zekin swings out, but it's Def actually with 2, leaving Shazam alone. He's got 26 health. He's got a Sheriff, and that's all he's got. Zekin manages to get the shots at the very last moment. Sentinels had a broken bye. XSET get to 8.
All right, that puts a little money in the hands of Sentinels here, as we did see them spending through, knowing that win or loss, they'd still be able to buy in. So we'll see what they are able to make of that. I wonder if it was the operator. I wasn't keeping track of the cash. I don't think so for TENZ. Plus, with the way the game's flowing, an operator purchase is really risky, because if you lose that, you could be hurting more than just your own economy because of the further buys that could come through due to 1 round. So not going to see the operator come out here. Just alt orb focus still for Sentinels as XSET continues to close the gap here. Let's see if they can do it again.
See, oh my gosh, they're walking into it. TENZ has been tagged. The dart as well, but they're going to push right into it. Yep, they just stick it to BCJ. Run right at him. Pure with the Blade Storm, however. Dashing away. Looking for a second. No, the hot hands and the shots from Sick take care of business. They managed to get onto the site. They're going to get the spike down as well. You were talking about expensive investments. Pure had an op that round.
Yep.
He's been dropped, and there it is. Sick's going to get it. Now it's in Sentinel's pockets. That's huge.
I mean, there's 2 objectives on the board now. Get that operator out. 1's down. Now it's the spike, acting as another member here of Sentinel. So almost like a 3v3 is what XSET has to work with. They take one of those members down. Just Zoms and the spike.
He's got some mobility, but that's all he's got. And he's not able to make anything happen off of that. Didn't have smokes, didn't have a paranoia. Zekin comes through with the defuse. XSET get to 9. And Riv, like, you can rewind a couple of rounds and you can point to that moment, right? Where XSET was on the cusp of losing control of the map. They win a huge round. They're able to rattle off 3. Now they're just 1 round down. This is competitive again. And the possibility of map 5 once again enters the conversation.
not against it. I'd love to see it. These two teams are taking each other to the distance, Doug, in a really fantastic gameplay, game style, and just the way they're doing it has been amazing to watch. We see the rounds 3 in favor here for XSET as they start to gain a bit of momentum, and a partial buy again coming in from Sentinels as they try to get a few of these rounds in their favor. The push through. VCJ goes down again to the same thing.
Yeah, it's the second round in a row where Sick just full sends, holds W, and destroys BCJ. Now he's going to get the run it back as well. Trying to work his way back into the site. Trying to work off of the tag. Not able to do it. Def took a little bit of damage, but that's all it was. Zom's getting the spike down as the lockdown comes through, but it's, I mean, it's just going to funnel him back into the site.
Distant.
Right, like in a boathouse.
At least they know nobody's clear. This is going to allow Aaron to know that nobody kind of pushed out far enough, but he's still got to make a move here. Zekin to take one down and start it off.
But they're disjointed. You've got to wait for Aaron to push in with you, right? Like, don't take this at a numbers disadvantage. But Zekin, I guess if you've got Zekin, you can do it that way. Def gets one as well. As Shazam is left alone with the Sheriff. One, not able to get anything else. Aaron gets the defuse. It was a weird buy for Sentinels, and oh, baby, we're tied at 10.
You have to be kidding. It's exactly what we want out of the grand finals. XSET not giving up. I was building up Shazam earlier. There's no doubt that he's been reading XSET, and they start to vary it up enough to just continue and throw that post-plant pressure in. We have not seen XSET on a lot of these maps be able to gain post-plant pressure. It's when they were already in the site that they take it, hold it, and make it work. These retakes, however, are exactly what the doctor ordered, and they've brought themselves right back into this match.
Operator again in the hands of Pure, looking down long. The flash is going to come through, get him some info towards A that there is presence. Got Sick in a cheeky little spot here. Up top, nothing doing quite yet. There's no, I mean, you've got Dapper a couple points away from having his ult online, but really for both teams, no one on the cusp of bringing that into the fold. TENZ has been spotted, so they understand that there's, they have at least for the time being lost some control of the middle of the map.
Don't have to have too much control watch here on Cat. Everything A and Cat had lurched them, along with what this bot's going to tell them. And Pure gets himself into a one-shot position to make sure he gets back to safety here. All the flashes and util coming in, and it looks like Sentinels are forcing that A.
That's big. Oh, that's so big because now they have tree control as well. Pure's going to have to go absolutely nuts, and so far, so good. He's gotten 2 to drop things down to a 3v3, but Sick has managed to get onto the site. Def slowly working his way through tree to reestablish control there. That's going to force Dapper to take the long route all the way back in towards the A main to make something happen. Meanwhile, Shazam looking to equalize things right now. Cleans up BCJ. Pure still has that op. Understanding there's somebody down low. He's going to drop. He's going to lead the shot. My gosh, but Dapper on that flank that we talked about, dropping things to a 1v1. Def going aggressive. Dapper waiting for it. Def spots him. Dapper's running for the fence. Get me the heck out of there. He's going to be able to blast through. Is he going to be able to blast through the boxes? No, the spike continuing to tick away. Def's running out of time, and Dapper does it anyway. It doesn't matter. Sentinels take the lead.
Oh, the very last hair on that one. Just the cat and mouse game continues to play out. A lot of the rounds on Icebox continue to go down to the second hand on the timer. And Pure trying to hit the flick shots. Like we said, all of these last frags at the end of the round are so chaotic. They're chases. They're everybody just figuring out where the flank is coming from situations. And it is Sentinels thriving in that one. Now what happens on round 22 because it seems like it's anybody's game right now.
Well, it's concerning here for XSET. They've got a lighter buy, right? You've got a Guardian in BCJ's hand, which is pretty dang good. And for him to have the balls, really, to continue to play that tight, knowing what's been happening with Sick is I mean, it works out for him this time. He may be able to get tag on him anyway. TENZ dashes through. No, the Guardian shot's not able to land. TENZ gets in on the site. They push off the remaining members of XSET, and they're going to have full control of B with the neural theft as well.
That's so big. The earlier in a round you can use neural theft, the more profitable it can become with that return on information. So they know just exactly where everyone is coming from. it'll dwindle in that sense, but safe in the sight. This could be big from XSET to make sure a lot of the members of Sentinels go down, but the round win is the priority, Doug. And it looks like with the guiding light coming through, that's going to happen now.
Keep an eye on Zombs on your mini-map as well. He's working the middle of the map. He's going to pinch in behind them, but will his teammates be able to stay alive long enough for it to have an impact? Shazam with 50 health, not able to land the shots onto the back of the site. Now Zom shows up, and it might be too late. My gosh! He does it again! Are you kidding me? A
No
Red Bull clutch
way.
for Sentinels to take it to map, to take it to series point.
He's so good in the split instances where you would need a second to think. He's already 2 steps ahead. The quick instant transfer off the first shot, just seeing the backpack of Aaron and then saying death on the close peek. It draws the crosshair down. He's done it many times this tournament, and a lot of credit to the Zoms Nation for pulling in the rounds in which XSET could be picking up momentum.
Heavy push towards A, man. Everyone and their mom heavily pushing that way. The flash comes out. The blade storm is going to follow as well. This is the first time we've seen something this aggressive, and it's going to be followed up by Zoms taking the from the shadows to get back onto the site. On top of the run it back. Now keep an eye on Def. He's on the flank. The tripwire is going to give him away, but Aaron playing tight in the smoke, able to take care of that ult. The door is going to go down. Spike has not yet, but Def's in a great spot. You see how they have to pull back because of the tripwire. Oh my gosh! TENZ jumps up, gives it to him, is able to get away, looking for more, and he gets it. TENZ continuing to do that. Just 2 members left on the side of XSET. Make that one. Aaron in a 1v4 to keep the series alive. And who else but TENZ to get the kill? Your North American Kings will not be dethroned, as Sentinels are your Grand Finals champions. Welcome back, friends. Thank you for sticking with us through the break. You just missed a banger. Once again, congratulations to Sentinels. 3-1 series win over XSET. XSET made them earn every single round, but Sentinels were able to walk away victorious. I'm Doug. With me is Riv. Riv, let's take a look at the replays one more time because there was a whole lot to talk about.
A lot of this A alt orb focus. I think we've been seeing that a little bit more from teams with the change in alt orbs going up. You have shots. You have Sova needing quite a few more here. I mean, they focused it for the Phoenixes, the Jets, and we actually saw it coming up huge. A lot of these rounds as well, again, it went down to the second hand, and that kept favoring Sentinels. They played really good under that pressure. They're all collapsing on the site, and retake is their forte. Here, TENZ putting some final touches on the map. XSET, though, Doug, we have to talk about how far they've come, how strong they are now, and what type of games they're going to put into VCT in the future, because we've definitely not seen the last of them due to their placement, but I can't wait to see what else they bring.
Oh, dude, they're legit. We talked about it at the beginning of the series. Def has been so good for XSET. You saw it in those mid-round adjustments. You saw it in his individual playmaking as well. And then Zekken has been so good for them as well. He can duel. He can play Sky. He can do a little bit of everything. So they're going to be a ton of fun to watch. I don't think XSET's going anywhere anytime soon. But, you know, it kind of felt like throughout the series, I'm starting to think Shazam's just kind of like a robot of machine learning that just kind of like downloads depending on what data is given to him, and then they adjust accordingly, and it just becomes so difficult to deal with. It seems like the longer the series goes on, the more comfortable it gets for Sentinels.
It does. Comfortable is a word I tread slightly on because of what was happening to the rest of the team. Like, big ups to TENZ, big ups to Zoms, the rest of the squad firing on. And Shazam showed up some maps, but then we saw each other really needing to be there. And I think that's one of the cores of Sentinels that we always see showing up is somebody is there behind the calls that Shazam's making. If somebody's falling behind, they're picking each other up. And it's one of the strongest parts the Sentinels brings to the table.
There's so many good plays. We have two segments we're going to look at. Up first, we're going to take a look at the Credit Karma instant karma play. It actually came from the map we just took a look at. It was a beautiful display of utility working together, making some teamwork happen to open up a play specifically for members on the side of Sentinels. We'll take a look at it here. Your instant karma moment presented by Credit Karma. You had the paranoia. Sit comes out aggressively, and that allows TENZ to get up top to create some space with the Blade Storm to get a double. That right there is the feeling of instant karma, and it was a beautiful one at that because it dovetails into the ace, and how much more could you possibly ask for when you've got TENZ doing that?
I mean, look at the pressure. So this was the second time they ran a 6 strategy down by the alt orb. So where are all of XSET's eyes going to be? Right on the alt orb. TENZ is floating around in the clouds. The silver lining was there.
The silver lining was there indeed. We also have Shazam, who's here, who's going to be joining us for the Verizon post-match interview. We'll get him in here. We can pick his brain a bit. Shazam, thank you so much for joining us, dude. Congratulations on the big win.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Now, Shazam, I want to get your thoughts on this. I would love to kind of pick your mind on how XSET fared, right? Like, I think Def has been an excellent addition to them from a calling perspective, and they were able to push you guys to the brink a good bit. While it was a 3-1 win, XSET kept all of those maps competitive. What was it like to go up against them as an IGL who's made quite a name for yourself as probably being the best in the world?
They're good. They just gamble a lot, though. Like, just kind of realize, like, we lose a round hitting B, they're going to play 4 people A and just solo. They take a lot of risks. And like it took some time to just kind of realize that they're just gamble stacking and like flip-flopping, and outside of that, like I feel like we were able to outplay them. I mean, people came up huge in clutches. Honestly, I feel like I couldn't even kill anything the whole series. So if we're still able to come up with the win, I feel good about that.
And you know, to kind of touch on that point, what kind of role do you take? Obviously, you're still trying to frag. That never goes out of your head. But do you kind of switch your role and focus more on providing everybody who is kind of going out of their way and just going crazy to help them?
Yeah, I think like that's just kind of like a rule as being part of a team is like if you just feel like you're having an off day, you're not feeling 100%. You like try to be a good teammate. You know, your comms. In my case, like calling. Just like helping out your teammates in other ways, and you can still like provide value and impact in rounds. And so I feel like overall, like I'm pretty happy with everything.
Shazam, I'd love to get your thoughts on this. Leading up to this close qualifier, we saw a lot of new faces, right? We saw KCP, we saw Rise, we saw XSET work their way up to the grand finals, and in a situation where probably nobody expected 3 of those to place where they did. What is your thought on these teams that are starting to swell up to compete for these top spots in North America?
I mean, teams are just getting better. Like, it's getting more and more competitive. Especially the top teams. Like, all the other tier 2 teams are watching how you play. They're like replicating the stuff you do, or like they're recognizing stuff you do. It's like one thing to like get up there, but it's a lot harder to stay on top. Having to like constantly try out new things, reinvent yourself. So we're trying our best. It's not easy. You know, experimenting different comps on Breeze and change stuff around. Our Haven, obviously, we need to change some stuff up. But overall, like, gotta keep working.
Would you say that the recent changes to the econ and everything and the way the game is played a little bit was a boon for Sentinels and the way that you guys always adapt and advance, or has it been something that took a bit of time for the team to adjust to?
I think it was pretty fine for the style that we play. I feel like we're pretty efficient with our utility. A lot of teams like to spam utility and like do a lot of set stuff, and for us, it's like we try to only use utility when we need to, so we still have it when it comes to like committing to a site or playing a post plant. So I feel like it helped us, if anything. It's more so just teams getting better overall.
Yeah. Shazam, thank you so much for joining us again. Congratulations on the big win. We'll see you at the playoffs.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
You heard it, man. But possibly a little frustrated. Didn't feel like he personally performed the way he would have liked. But I mean, when you've got a roster around you like that, there's got to be plenty to go around in that instance.
Yeah, and being hard on yourself is always a kind of a thing that goes along with competition. And coming back stronger is something that comes out of that. So you can only expect, even in a win, that the players come out more hungry, and Sentinels, it makes them that much more dangerous. But again, you know, talking about the other teams, or Shazam talking a bit about XSET there, that they are decently aggressive, and it did take them off a little bit, off guard a bit. But that play style does seem to favor XSET, and I'll watch aggression all the time.
That's a lot of fun to watch. Tell you what else is fun to watch: the AIM Labs flick of the day. Riv, it was another one from today, and it was a good one. And sure enough, it came from a member on the side of Sentinels. It was Sick, who had the disgusting ace that we'll take a look at one more time. Once again, the AIM Lab flick of the day, courtesy of Sick.
There's so many of these, right? So many aces, so many 4Ks, but not with the flicks, not with the crispness that we saw Sick here after his first few kills just say, thank you very much.
One enemy remaining.
Pop, pop. Easy. And that was a huge round. Yep. That was a very, very big round. That's one of those rounds everybody takes to social media and says, game saved. Let's keep going, for a Sentinels fan.
Yeah, it was so nice. Definitely worth looking at twice. The snap right here onto BCJ at the end to clean things up. Once again, your AIM Lab flick of the day. And once again, congratulations to Sentinels walking away with the big dub. Once again, proving that they are kings, they are titans of North America, and they can roll with the best of any of them. We'll take a look at the bracket one more time to recap, right? Make some memories after what happened throughout the weekend. Sentinels were able to work their way through the losers bracket, but they made their way up to the grand finals, where they met up with XSET, who again took down Rise 2-1. They took down Sentinels 2-1, and then 100 Thieves 2-1 to get to that point, but Sentinels were able to walk away with the rematch win in a 3-1 fashion, but Riv, it was close the entire time.
It was, and there's something to look at for Sentinels, too, along their route. 2-0, 2-0, 2-0 down there, right? Not that XSET was having any trouble with 2-1s, but getting pressured into those games, finding themselves not being able to close it out, that's where I think Sentinels also can tag on a bit of the heat, as they know when they smell blood in the water and they start to be able to close out games. We saw that here. And just the lineup coming through. We talked about Rise. We talked about KCP. Seeing new names up there at the high caliber of play makes me so happy in how Open Qualifiers comes in for the VCT. And it breeds awesome playoffs like this.
Yep. No one is safe. It's a good time to be a fan of North American Valorant. Folks, thank you so much for hanging out with us this weekend. It was a blast. We laughed. We cried. Maybe some people cried. But it was an absolute banger of a tournament. We will see you all in just a little bit as we gear up for the second week of Stage 3. Until then, I'm Doug. With me is Riv. From everyone on the production team, the observers, the admins, everyone making everything happen. Thank you so much once again for hanging out with us. We'll see you next time. Have a good night.